That's bullshit!
MORPH Market is the website that connects reptile breeders and keepers across the world. Search through over 30,000 ball pythons to find the perfect animal for you. You can locate breeders near you and check their ratings, discover upcoming events and who will be there, and track your animals for free using the Animal Manager. MORPH Market is dedicated to advancing the reptile industry.
That's bullshit!
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm back, and I think I'm here, and I think I'm live, and I think I'm real. Am I here? Yeah, I'm here. So hopefully all of those little intros went well, and my stupid little 8-bit snake thing went over well. I don't know what you feel about the new background that I worked on hard last night before my homework was due today. You know me. I'm a last-minute motherfucker. But at least I'm not that late on the live feed that was supposed to start a few minutes ago. That started a few minutes ago. So I truly appreciate all of you that are in the chat. All of you that are in Daytona on your way to Daytona. I hope you had safe travels. I hope you made it there. I hope you set up everything, because setting up in the morning is a bitch, because you know Wayne's only going to give you a fucking hour. And at that point, he's probably going to be 15 minutes late opening the building. But that's only if it still runs the way it used to run. But tonight, here's a special episode I bring you from Not Daytona and the new setup. So I'd like you to focus right now on these sponsors that are on the side over here. I was nice enough to put all of them there. MORPH Market, you already got your video in. C-SERPENTS, I'd certainly like to give you your shot in the, in the sun, your time in the sun. So let's go over to C-SERPENTS.com and let's see, look what I found. I was digging around. I was looking for something from Mr. Chris. And
Hey guys, this is Chris Elves from C-SERPENTS coming to you on the Ballsh podcast.
It's short, it's sweet, it's whatever, but it's Chris. So, yeah, here you go. This is C-SERPENTS.com. Was the beast mode sponsor of the Bullshit podcast. Now is still a major sponsor of the Bullshit podcast. If I still do that whole leveled of sponsorship things, I don't even know if I'm going to do that. MORPH Market, of course, you saw a minute ago. USARK does not pay me for a sponsorship, but they never would have to. Of course, help out USARK. Fights for your rights to keep all of your reptiles. If you don't know anything about USARK, you truly have your head under a fucking rock, and you should probably not be keeping reptiles at this point. John from MADRIVER. John, I love John, and I'm always going to talk about John because A, he's got a face for radio, and he's not afraid to share it. B, he does this calendar thing with where he ships his snakes on Instagram. So, hey, help this guy fill in this calendar. Help me keep his money coming, all right? Reptile Collective, Mr. Steve Beamer. He's been on my side for a long, long time, been asking me to do the Bullshit podcast for a really long time. Looks like he's got a bunch of colubrids and stuff going on. He's also hitting up the show me shows. So, if he's not updating his Facebook page, his Instagram, and this is that fucking old, then it's that old. But it looks like it's for August 6th and 7th. So looks like it just passed. But anyway, check out Reptile Collective. Savage, the Savages is the people that spell their name awkwardly different. Ricky and Becca, I love you. I love your names. I hate spelling your names because I have to think about it for a minute. Shane Kelly, Small Town Exotics, the gangster with 15.9 thousand followers. You're everywhere. Why the fuck are you paying me? Strange Creations, Josh Strange, your episode of interview is going to come up soon. Thank you for being one of the only 8 people following me on fucking Twitter. And a new sponsor to the Bullshit podcast is this fella here at Infinite Possible Pythons. His name is Nathan Granoff. If I'm not saying that right, Nathan, you correct me on the next run. He got my attention posting some stuff whenever he posted this video of his table display at a local show with all of this signage, because I think this guy would not be a bad guy to talk to if you want to be fucking noticed. This dude's got his loud on loud. He's got his volume on maximum. All right, so that's them. Me, Bullshit Podcast, 429 followers as of earlier this evening. Get your asses on there and follow me more, motherfuckers. All right. Let's see. And our guest for tonight, none other than the fat man himself. I feed with this fella right here, but I would love to welcome Fat Man and his top hat, Mr. Chris Eaton, the arguably next to me sexiest man in reptile podcasting. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Happy to be here, man. Good.
Are you? You're happy to be here that I'm actually here.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm not. That's just something you say, but fucking.
I forgot I brought a green cup again.
What?
Fuck,
dude.
the black cup's
yeah.
in my car. Sorry,
Jesus
bro.
Christ.
Invisible cup. Didn't mean to do that. Anyway,
Unprofessional bullshit already.
unprofessional.
All right.
Unprofessional is having a green screen to begin with, bro. I'm every 15-year-old Twitch kid's dream.
Dude, you are fucking. You're on fire. What happened to the gun safe? The gun safe was at least cool.
We migrated the gun safe slightly out of the room just because I didn't know if it would end up getting me some crazy shadow ban on YouTube if some shooting happened or some shit. You know what I mean? Because the show's not about guns. So wouldn't it be absolutely awful to get shadow banned over some bullshit like some public shooting and having a gun safe in an image? If it was run solely by Facebook, it would happen often, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I did the Twitter,
there, right?
Because I mean, I know you hate Twitter. I hate Twitter unless I'm looking at investment advice and stuff like that. But I can say whatever the fuck I want. And honestly, I'm way more filtered than the old Sean was. So I would say that it's probably not even a problem. But lately, Facebook's been really bad, bro. I mean, we talked about that privately, you know, that I'd had a couple of these just test videos that I was doing get flagged for things that I said. And I wouldn't even say anything really hard, you know? But so I don't need that. Right.
No, I watched them all. I didn't see anything horrible.
No,
it just means that somebody hates you. Somebody's fucking.
Well, yeah, that and the it's not even that so much as it is now the algorithms. You know, I don't know if you've noticed when you type something. Have you typed anything and Facebook's been like, nah, check that shit. Yeah. You haven't?
I don't pay attention to the algorithms. I don't care. I'm just whatever.
Well, no. It's not that. It actually stops your post. Like it actually physically stops. Like you go to make a post, like a response to someone, and it redlines you, and it says Facebook has spotted this type of language within your post. It's literally an algorithm that's reading your post and deciding whether your post is aggressive or not.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why.
And I disputed it.
You can't even type white trash anymore. You know,
no, and that's the problem, dude. I'm sorry to say that in the world of computing, you should be able to type white trash.
Yeah, you have to put a number sign in for the, for the S or something, just to
you got to confuse the algorithm.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. See, I'm not down with that, bro. So that's why there's bullshit Sean on Twitter. Just in case I get into this thing and I get to a point where I really want to say something that's a little, then I can just be me.
You got a fucking explanation point in your logo, so you are down with it.
Well, not really. I did that for iTunes, bro. Like and now you can write shit on iTunes.
Oh, can you?
You couldn't when I started. Well, I think you can because I think I searched for some podcast and I found the word in their podcast title. Now there's a bunch of exclamation point shits now. You know, I'm not saying I created it. I'm just saying in the earlier days of podcasting when I was doing that stuff, there wasn't a lot of shits. I think there was like 2 other ones on there, you know, with the exclamation point. And that's why I used it, because I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Because I really loved the name Bullshit. I thought it was a great name. I thought it would really roll with, especially with personalities and stuff, and all the bullshit going on in the industry. But
well, I remember iTunes flagged me for fat shaming.
Right.
Just using the word fat man. Yeah.
Right. So when you've done more misogynistic shit than anybody else, and never got flagged for that.
I'm surprised that you even get flagged and taken down when I'm literally talking about women's tits on every post, and they flag you. Hey,
Is it women's lib? I mean, is that it? Is that what's getting you there, bro? Is you're
I
like
had a problem with some of them about
you're
a
a
year
fucking
ago.
feminist, bro, because you love
Yeah.
tits. You don't just like them.
I'm a male feminist, so
You could be.
could
Could be in disguise, right? So yeah. So how's Fat Man going? How's the Snakes and the Fat Man productions coming along since you have done the YouTubing that we always talked that we wouldn't really do?
I hate it, honestly. I fucking hate the YouTubing thing. It's so much work, you know. And normally I leave everything for the last minute, so you know I'll have the interviews in the can, but then I'll have to edit the whole show the day before, you know?
Right.
And then film my rants and all this other dumb shit, and then edit it, and then yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I hate YouTube, but you gotta do it. You gotta keep up with the kids, man.
Yeah, you got to keep up with the kids. I guess that's it, and that's where the new Snakes and the Fat Man live episode comes in play. I assume.
I did.
Keeping up with the Joneses, or are you just tired of editing? Because
Well,
honestly, I'm tired of editing.
I'm tired of editing, but I'm still gonna do the regular show, you know, in addition to the live.
And I want to do that too.
You know, it's not going to be a long thing. It's going to be an hour long, probably hour and 20 minutes, and just it's easy to do live shit like this.
Yeah,
like you slap up a background, you know.
Yeah, it's all prep, right? It's all prep work, and that's it. I mean, and like even the green screen, and it's a matter of just changing the fucking. You know, you can do whatever fuck you want. I mean, you're right there to changing something. You know,
right?
Like it's that fucking simple just to get it dialed right back in. And with this stupid thing, it's super easy. You know, I like the wall behind you because I think it'll add depth to the room, and I can change the way the lighting is in here and shit like that. But you know, for now, this works. You know, this does the job. Because ultimately, you're not here to see me, you know. And as I was talking to you a little bit before the show, before we started, about starting up a couple other shows like Off Topic Tuesday, which I might go around to like just sponsoring by Morph Market and C-SERPENTS, and then like Exotics by Nature, my company, and then go through other species, not just species that I work with, but other species that we can talk about. And like I was mentioning to you, you know, our friend Luke from Lizard Morphs down in Australia. I reached out to Luke by way of knowing him through you and your awesome Zoom chats that you have that are incredible fun. Reached out to Luke and asked him if he could talk to his friend who would be interested in doing potentially some Australian species of snakes and lizards specifically. Like I would love to talk about Australian species with Australian keepers and breeders, right? Because isn't that the only shit they can really keep?
Right. But do American people care about that? I mean,
I think parameter wise, I think we care about that. I think that if you really look at, I mean, and you know, this isn't Snakes and the Fat Man, so we could talk about snakes a little bit more than the
no, absolutely, you know? We can.
So you know, in the way of like, hang on, let me grab a book. You remember I talked to you about a book camera to be able to do stuff like this, to be able to rip out a book like an old look. It's so close to green, it's blue, that it's picking up the shit on the screen. But I want to show you like this book, The Reproductive Husbandry of Pythons and Boas. Is hard to make out with my stupid green screen, but the cover, everybody will know if you're an old school owner. This book was taken out of print a long time ago. But in this book is this wonderful chart, and it's a simple, stupid thing on every species that shows, see that calendar with that weird line that drags out and gets wider and gets narrower? That's actually a consensus of breeders' data that's been lumped together worldwide and put into this book. The Barkers did the same thing on the Pythons of the World Australia book. And honestly, as a young hobbyist, there was nothing more, I guess, intuitive that I could say to read about a species that was so close to the wild. Fuck a ball python, bro. You and I know we can put a ball python in a heated rack or in a heated room. She's going to produce. We can leave her with her eggs. We could take her eggs out. We're going to hatch them, right? I mean, I'm not going to make this a Dave Kaufman video reel, right? But in the way of, if I had a chance to go to Africa with a camera and interview some people, it probably wouldn't have been done that way. But whatever. The dude did a great job of doing what he set out to do, and I'm fine with that, you know? But at the same time, wouldn't you like to hear about anthill pythons that don't have a morph anywhere in the world available other than in Australia from a fucking Australian that has the morph or has access to it?
No,
Maybe not you.
no. Haven't you? Have you seen the kids nowadays? Anybody under 30 doesn't give a fuck.
I totally think you're wrong. I squarely think you're fucking wrong.
Okay.
I squarely think you're wrong. And laugh at me all you want, but I squarely think you're wrong. I do think there are a lot of shitheads in the world that are not going to take the time to understand history. But at the same time, some of these species aren't like anywhere, bro. Like some of these things are like you have to hear what these people have to say. Like if you were gonna bring shingleback skinks and you were gonna spend what's shinglebacks now, bro? What do you spend $10,000 on a pair of shingles?
Don't know, don't care.
Okay, don't know, don't care. I would love to hear about how to breed that from somebody in Oz that breeds them. You know, I just feel that. Like, and maybe you're right, dude. Maybe you're fucking right. Maybe they don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna do it.
If you ask 20 random people at a reptile show who Tracy Barker is, who Rico Walder is, who Ralph Davis is, 18 of them are not going to know.
Okay, fair enough. But you ask Ralph Davis, how many podcasts has he done? Where's his YouTube channel? Like you said, you got to keep up with the kids.
Well, Tracy,
what if I brought
Tracy,
the thing to the kids?
Yeah, but Tracy hasn't done it either. That's the whole thing.
Tracy never did bullshit because I didn't want to supply her with a fucking script of questions. That's why. It just went against my normal thing.
But she never did anybody's.
No, but she would have done it if somebody would have really driven to it. At the end of the day, dude, okay, I'm not going to bring up too many topics from your Zoom call because what happens in Zoom stays in Zoom. But we did have a discussion.
You could.
Well, no, we did have a discussion where Colette Sutherland's name came up. Remember that a few whiles ago, right? And the whole question was, did she or did she not participate based on a nomenclature that you had developed that it was a hot chicks episode or tits were welcome or, fun bags or the most fun to bounce around in, whatever the deal may be. Right. But like at that point, where did the old school people fall off and just not do it because they didn't want to do the bullshit? Not do it because, like, dude, I'm not going to lie to you. Let's take two of those people and put them point to point, Ralph Davis and Colette Sutherland. Dude, if you don't remember Ralph's journal, Ralph spent weeks and months and a good better part of a year running down Colette and Dan and the TSK Xanthic morph. Okay.
Right.
And we can go back to the journal, not 25 years ago, but 15 years ago, first of all. And second of all, now the TSK, is it not heralded as the more superior, better looking Xanthic? And the ironic thing was at that time that Ralph Davis was picking those fights and that shit, he owned one TSK Xanthic ball python in his collection. And it was better looking than every fucking VPI he had. And one of his dudes, fat ass, sent me a picture of it and was like, what do you think of this Xanthic? I was like, wow, why does he never show it? He said, because it's a TSK. He spent the journal running it down. So why would you want to be that old why would you want to be Colette and come onto a podcast where somebody might be like, oh, why'd you shit on Mojaves when they were worth something? Obviously, I know that day is past now, and I know nobody cares about that detail now. Well, believe it or not, a lot of people do.
I don't think they do.
Nobody cares which Xanthic line is better. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And that's funny. If nobody cares which Xanthic line is better, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I've seen more better looking TSKs than I've seen VPIs, and I worked with VPI exclusively. I did not work with VPI one bit. And the reason why I didn't was because Ralph shit on TSK so much. He literally took it out of the marketplace with his rantings. Okay. So at the same time, it's just like, what do you do? What can you do to blame these old folk people that don't want to do that? They want to write books still because books don't talk back. Books don't ask questions. Books don't send emails, and books don't give 1-star reviews.
I really think that you're off the marker on what people care about right now. People care about the hot new Justin snake, the hot new Miguel snake, the hot new Ozzy snake, and that's it. That's what they're all trying to chase, and that's what they're doing. And you can't blame them because those projects are the money making projects. But
Okay.
you go to a Repticon, nobody gives a fuck about quality.
First of all, if you go to a Repticon, yeah, you don't give a fuck about quality.
Yeah. But people are still doing Repticons every week, all across the country. So
yeah,
it's
Steve
just a
Beamer
hard
says
job.
he wrote a book. I mean, I don't know what book he wrote, but they're the case in point. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, dude. I think that the mark is there still. I still think that the history's got a spot. I do, which is why I brought all this shit back, pretty much. I guess. I don't know.
No, I think that history does have a spot, but it's to a very niche, limited audience.
Yeah.
And you're not going to teach history to 1,000 people at a time. You're going to teach history to 22 people at a time. How many people are in here? 25.
Yeah, I don't ban anybody. Snakes and doggies. I'm not banning anybody. But I did want to shout out to Joel at State 48 real quick, dude. Congratulations on that GHI Mojave puzzle thing. I just wish it didn't have eye stripes, but the rest of it's gangster. Yeah, so back to it, man. So, we've been talking a lot in private in the last, how long has it been since I've been trying to bring this?
Well, since
shit?
you announced this fucking comeback tour, it's been like, a year and 2 months?
Like 9 months, I think. My math is different than yours, but whatever. But yeah, a year and 2 months. It's fine. Dude, it takes a while to work up the nerve, especially to keep up with the kids.
Well, yeah, fucking not only that. And, I'm going to preface this by saying, love the sign. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Great,
By the way,
job
yeah,
on
we'll
fucking
talk about
sign.
that in a second. Yeah. So we did send Chris out that fine ass USARK proud supporter sign to be the maiden voyage of the wood grain, not this guy. Not this guy. This guy is a little bit more bright and in your face colors, this guy right here. But we will have them on the website very soon for sale with shipping and all that. And we'll have them where you paint your own kits, so you stain your own kits, or you buy them painted in a few options, things like that. Yeah. It'd be neat. So thank you for hanging that up.
Yeah, no problem. It's badass. But I could see where it would be nerve-wracking because of the way that you went out. So did you have any reservation on coming back because of the way that you went out?
Well, why don't we put in your words the way I went out first, and that way I can address your feelings on it, and maybe it'll help the people that are so new that don't care about history understand exactly what you mean by that. Well, your impression of it from a public perspective, not from our private talks, right?
Yeah. No, you absolutely.
If you can discern a difference, right?
Yeah, you absolutely shit all over the industry when you left. And
ball python specifically, or
ball python specifically, yes,
correct.
Saying that what a pyramid scheme it is, and what and you said I'm going to go do fish,
correct?
Right, and then 3 years later, you're back to the ball pythons that you shit all over.
I'm not back to breeding ball pythons anymore. Ball pythons in the last 4 years.
Not at all. But you're bringing back a ball python specific show.
Correct. Correct.
Right.
Because I really honestly feel that I didn't do it right the first time.
Okay.
I really feel I didn't do it right. I think we did a great job getting some stuff down. But for instance, I'm trying not to interrupt as much, even though I know I still do it. But hopefully not as much. But today, listening to a rerun of what you and I recorded in 2016 when you were eyeballs, right? When you had the whole world ahead of you and you were growing the collection and you were before Snakes and Fat Man was really a thing, right? And God, I never let you say a word.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking.
It's horrible. It's terrible, and so yeah. In that respect, dude, I got a mute button. I can hit it. I just did for a second. If I need to sneeze or scratch my nuts, or if I feel I desperately have to say something, but try not to interrupt as much. at all, yeah, that's the goal. But as much is obviously the end, you know.
I think it's
But-
stalling about getting.
No, I'm not stalling at all. So, no, I'm trying to get everything straight because it's a solid question. Okay. I still I see a ball python community that's led by more people now as leaders. I didn't feel in 2018, 19 that that there were multiple people at the helm of what I would say ball pythons are. There was obviously one, you know, he's your sponsor.
Mhm.
And he put in what, 2018. I don't know how many years. I don't remember the first time that I saw Justin at a show. But he put in years, right? And he stocked the shelves and he did the projects and he had the visions and he did the work. He put in the work, right? So I'm not here to take that away from anyone. He put in the work. But at what point was I in a position to really look at a marketplace that was led by one main guy? That, like, no matter how much hard work we were doing with Puzzle, no matter how much hard work somebody was doing with Sunset, no matter how much, like, this dude could come out with a red stripe and drop it in a clown and 3 other jeans and say, red stripe, and the whole market goes, woof, right? And that is really fucking frustrating, dude, because, Chris, were you ever a full-time reptile breeder? Were you ever a ball python for a
For a
living?
couple of years. Yeah, for a couple of years.
Full-time, 100%,
Full-time.
non-subrogated by anything else, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
so
no,
you and
no.
I can truly level with the fact that there is not always meat on the bone,
Yeah, of course not.
right? And that things dry up and that things change. And dude, it's a long answer to your question because it has to do with so many things. It has to do
Let me
with-
just interrupt you now real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
RN just wrote, welcome to the most underwhelming debut of a podcast ever. Fuck you, RN. Fucking.
I don't know who this is that's sniping this with. That's RN that is just really, you know, hell must have frozen over for this to come to fruition. I'm not going to ban them. I'm just going to let them say their bullshit, but they've been on some shit as it goes, you know, but I'm not really sure who that is. But anyway, so fuck them if they've got an opinion. So anyway, to bring me back to it, dude, I fucking started my business from scratch. I came up in the ball python community. I had to fight and claw my way to the position that I got to wherever in the realm that was. I lost a lot of people along the way and I made some enemies, maybe a few times here and there since I've been hurt. But dude, in 2012, my fucking life was completely changed, man. It started with the loss of my son at the beginning of the year that I don't talk about often because I had a motherfucking troll on Facebook years ago that's still in the business. It still goes to reptile shows that threw that in my face on a post one day. Of all things, that just leave that alone, right? Like, leave that part alone, please. So my son passed. 6 months after that, well, 5 months after that, we conceived my daughter. Thankfully, a month after that, unfortunately, is when I fell and broke my back. Okay. Inside of 2 years, lost a kid, broke my back, had another kid. Another year went by. My wife took my kid, tried to leave me and put everything on me. I had to fight her in court. All that shit happened while I was bringing you bullshit in 15 through 18, dude. All of that shit. Listen to it. You can hear days where I'm calm and I'm collected. You can hear days where I'm off my fucking shit. That's it. So at what point do I get a break? Because, dude, I don't have a full-time job. Never did. Right. But you lived off of it for a couple of years. So I'll give you that. But I got a kid to take care of. I've got a house to keep up. I've got all these bills. Right. And then I get hit with, you know, tragedy after tragedy, including one of the, and this is only based on if you don't have medical insurance, the most expensive injury that you can survive with as a human being. Okay. That shit is real. That shit takes a toll. And honestly, I stopped giving a fuck about a lot of things, Chris. You know that.
No, it was well aware. However,
Yeah.
The ball python industry did not have anything to do with the death of your kid or
The
you
ball
falling
python
off the
industry
roof.
saved my family, Chris. The ball python
I
industry
know.
stepped in and did more for me
I know.
than anything has ever done for me in my life. but not just the ball python industry.
The whole reptile
The whole industry, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
Timberline and all, like it was so transcended ball pythons, right?
yeah.
And I love that. And in turn, like one of the guys that did that for me was, oh, look, I got to give nod to Mike. Mike, thanks for sharing that, bro. It's
Mike is
incredibly
awesome.
hard.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry you to go through that, man. Solid parenting, bro. I'm with you. So, dude, a lot of shit happened, man. That's it. I mean, I could have Earl and Ren Jones on the show with me to say that boy went through tons of shit, but I don't really need to have that defense out there when I can come up to you guys and say, look, what I said about the ball python industry, some of it I might have meant. Honestly, a lot of it, Chris, I don't even remember. And you know that. A lot of shit's happened in the last 3 or 4 years. A lot of it I don't remember. Some of it I can go back and actually recall by a memory online. Some of it gets thrown in my face as a Facebook memory pretty fucking regular, right? So in the end of it, like, I don't want to say put yourself in my shoes because you and I have discussions and I know how you feel about empathy and sympathy. I don't want any of your fucking sympathy. Your empathy means everything to me, but your sympathy means nothing to me.
The issue that you have now, though, is the ball python reptile industry gave you empathy with,
Sure.
you know, in the form of thousands and thousands of dollars.
Sure.
And you shit on them 3 years later and 5
No,
years
that
later.
wasn't 3 years later. It was many years later. And it was actually more like 5 to 6 years later. And it was after I'd already raised over 50 grand for US ARC that made me feel personally better about giving back in. Not that I paid it back, because how do you pay it back, right? Like Limey raised a ton of money for me, right? Limey did more work for me than anybody. And up until literally up until 2 weeks ago, I think I shared this with you privately, Limey was under the impression that he and I were not good. I don't know who in the fuck out there is out there telling people like Limey that the guy who saved my life, that I have some ill opinion of him, but that's way fucking sideways and wrong. So we straightened it out and we're all good. And hopefully we grow from here, right? I mean, because we got to regrow. We got to regrow. And I want to regrow. Like, I feel that I've started off regrowing with you, but I think there's plenty of times in chat that you've told me, dude, you're being a fucking shithead right now.
Yeah. No. I could definitely see the difference between Sean 5 years ago and Sean now. Without a doubt, I could see a difference. But I do see little morsels of old Sean creeping up. Fucking, you know, it's like it's that's the thing that I keep thinking, man, fucking, he's not going to get any new people if he does shit like this.
Dude, I mean, I gotta like really hand it to these people that believe in me over here on the side of the screen.
They're gone now, just so you know.
Right. Oh, it's fine. They're not gone, but they're hidden by me and you being me and you, right? But you know what I mean? Like, they're there, right? We mentioned them. They believe. And I've told a few people that I wanted to wait. I didn't want to have a bunch of sponsors. I really like that Infinite Possible Pythons guy because of that whole way he shows. I thought he'd be a really cool guy to have around. But having said that, dude, I'm not sitting out there with my hand out. Like, yeah, my Patreon link is down here with the BALLSHT, but I'm not forcing you guys at it. You know, I'm not, that Patreon thing, that's for the few of you that wants to go and do it for right now. I'm trying to step into this. I'm trying to convey to you all that there were people that wronged me in the end that made me want to be like, just fuck you all. Fuck you all. And dude, those were very few people. There were actually just really about 3. And to look into grand scheme of things, to blame a group of people for the bad doings of 3, I'm a human being, Chris, and we do that all the time. Yeah, we do that all the fucking time, right? And so can I step away from it and really look at it objectively, differently, and constructively, and bring the almost, well, not quite 30 years, right? But 20 very, very 25 very strong years in the marketplace to people that have fucking 3 months in the marketplace, a day in the marketplace, 15 years in the market. I don't give a fuck. You know, I can get along with you guys. I can help you. You can help me. we can work together and we can grow something good. I think it's possible. I really do. But you guys got to have an open mind. Yes, I look the same. Yes, my voice sounds the same. Yes, when I get angry or worked up or excited about something, my chat font, Chris, looks the same, right? How many times have I been like, bro, you're reading me funny. You're reading old Sean right now. Give me a break. Dial it back a little bit. You know, because at this point, I have set a precedent for my personality, and that is what you guys expect. Fair enough. Let me work my way back. Or not. Die trying. What do you think?
Gonna start crying now too?
No, my eyes are dry, bro. I'm good. If I get real touchy, I will start crying. But yeah, you know,
I think it's. I think that you can do it. I think it's a rough road ahead of you because you know, you burn bridges that are not coming. You definitely they're not coming back. But fucking you can
plenty
build
of bridges,
new bridges, bro. You know,
plenty of bridges out there. You know. That's it. That's all I could say, right? I mean, look at MORPH Market now. How many ball pythons are for sale? How many people are selling them? You know, how many other people are out there that want to talk about Australian pythons with me and then a guy in Australia that catches them and breeds them and stuff or knows where they live and how they live? How many people want to hear from the guy that used to import ball pythons for people like Pete Call and Bob Clark 25 years ago in Africa? You want to hear about Africa today, or you want to hear about Africa when Africa was something? When breeders would send over guys with enough money for hookers and opium and ball pythons to make the trip, you know?
So you're gonna find out how many people want to know about this.
I guess so.
But believe me, I want to be wrong about this, you know, because I think that there's space in this whole thing for everybody. I mean, you know that now. When we left, who was doing this? Me, you, and fucking that Josh dude.
Josh Beatty,
Josh Beatty.
And that's such a shame. Just real quick, that was such a shame because he put in so much work into that content, and to lose all of that is so sad.
Yeah, but it's also fucking his fault for losing all of it. You know, so
yeah, I know that, dude. We can go and rub it in his face if we want to. It's fine. It's my fault. I was a fucking asshole to everybody in 2000.
Right, exactly.
But it's fine. You rub it in my face if you want to. You're the watermelon rind on the face guy. Okay, my grandpa used to do that with me when I was a kid. So
I'm just saying, 99% of everybody's problems could be traced back to
themselves.
A problem that, you know, an issue that they chose.
Absolutely. So, everybody's worst enemy is definitely themselves at that point. There's no doubt. You know,
so I think for Josh to lose all that stuff because of a $20 a month bill, really, right? Like that's all.
Yeah, if he would have got. Well, no, actually, they went down to 15 Libsyn. If you don't host like really anything, you can get it for $15 a month.
Yeah, that's insane to lose all that. You know, for
you told me that was the best $15 a month that I've spent in my life.
Right. You just keep it up. That's
just keep it up.
That's the way to do it. The last thing you want to do is fucking drop dead, and a year later, everything that you've done to kind of fucking prove that you wanted to be around for longer than you actually are is gone. You know, so
yeah. Well, something. Did you touch on this on MJ's show about the Patreon thing where you were like, Sean gave me a hard time? Yeah, I think that was on that Nobody's Safe episode. Yeah. You know, where we're just, I was thinking about it, and, you know, dude, it costs a lot of money. Like, let's not buy the $400 mic. Let's just straight up USB mic it, do it like a fucking Xbox headset. It still costs money to do it.
It still costs money. Yeah.
It still costs money, bro. And then software, if you want good software to run right, I mean, yeah, you could use Audacity all you want and fucking get through freeware and everything. But at the end of the day, Audition's going to whip it up, right? Or something video wise, you know, now that I'm learning more about this video thing that I said I'd never do. That's my thing, right? That's my Patreon. This is my Patreon, the thing I said I'd never do. And you know, another thing.
Well, now, even back then, because you were probably the first reptile guy to have a Patreon, if I'm right? Okay.
Probably so. Because it was brand new. Like, it was so new that, like, Barchak wasn't doing anything with it. Nobody was touching it. And when I started it on my thing, you just immediately went for my fucking throat.
Yeah.
And here you are, Patreoning it up, motherfucker.
But the thing is, too,
I'm an innovator, bro.
When you were doing Patreon, you did not offer Patreon people.
No,
anything.
I don't believe in paywalls, bro.
Like,
I believe in you look at what I spent and you look at the time I'm spending, and I literally have my fucking hand out because I'm not selling you a skill. I think a paywall should be for a skill. If I'm going to teach you how to sex a snake, ultrasound a snake, I don't really know what other fucking build a rack. Okay, build a rack. Let's build a rat rack. Let's paywall it. Let's build a snake rack. Let's paywall it, right? Let's do a skill. Let's skill share and paywall it. We're going to paywall story time. Yeah, fuck you. Go and give me stuff.
Yeah, but people want that now.
Okay, I might try it. Maybe
yeah.
Feely and I try it with ABCs where we have a clean interview about the morph. And then after that, we have the interview with the breeder that ain't so clean, and that's paywall, you know, or something like that. We've discussed it. We have. And I do think that when you're trying to monetize, I'm not trying to make a living at this. I'm trying to make a small amount of money at this. And I'm trying to make a small amount of money with my machines and a small amount of money with my reptiles, right?
Yeah, but that's kind of bullshit, right? Like fucking, you want to make a small amount of money, but you'd be happy with a bigger amount of money.
Well, yes and no. At what point does this drive me now? Because we've uncapped the video, right? We've gone from audio edited, just like you and I were doing. We've gone to what we're doing right now, which is full on live, no holes barred. If you right now play a Metallica song, we're getting shadow banned. That's it. Like, that's it. We had a fucking copyrighted piece of music played during a live feed. That's that. Right. We get fucked. All right. If you get me used to this mentality where I can literally come on here and do a live feed and I don't have to edit, dude, you know how much time in my life I have to spend doing bookkeeping and shipping reptiles and designing things? Dude, I don't want to edit. If you guys are cool with this being running this and being raw and us being bridled enough to not really fuck things up. And in a way, doesn't that help me? Right? Because I'm not sitting there with an editing thing saying, yeah, Sean, you can say that. Yeah, let's say that. Let's say that. Fucking leave that in. Launch it. And then 3 days later, I'm, oh, man, I wish I'd edited that out. Oh, I wish I took that out. Oh, you know, now it's like, fuck, you say and spray, you better pray. Right? And that's the way it's going to run. So I don't really mind it. I really don't mind it. So, yeah, what do you think about the live thing? Like, you're going to it.
I'm interested in the live thing because it's just another way to get you out there. Like people don't understand with the whole YouTube thing. They think if you have 1,000 views, you're making some money, and 1,000 views is fucking so dog shit nothing to YouTube. Okay, so and not only that, but you hear all these podcasters saying, "Get me to 1,000, get me to 1,000," and you know these guys are forgetting that the 1,000 doesn't matter. You need 4,000 hours of watch time in addition to that 1,000 subscribers to get anything. Okay. So that's why I laugh when people are like, oh, he just does a Hot Chicks episode to get views. And I'm just like, fuck you, bitch. I got a fucking job and fucking, I don't need YouTube fucking $8 every month. You know, like fucking, it's just not even worth it. Like that dude, you know him probably, Graham Battison.
Yeah, Graham Battison.
Fucking took a shot at me, and he's like, these fucking people that are just trying to get views at a Hot Chicks episode. Man, fuck you, dude. I'm fucking not trying to, I'm trying to get views because I think what I'm doing is helpful and fucking funny. You know, so yeah, there you go. He's right. YouTube is exactly like the club owners when we used to play, like when we were coming up into clubs. And the club owner would be like, you brought 700 people, here's $9, you know, and that's the total way that YouTube is. So YouTube, I mean, I don't even think Miguel is making money enough on YouTube to just do YouTube. You know, I mean, it's very little money for very little payoff. Now, Barcheck is making a bunch of money. Okay.
Now, what do you think about like the super chat things and all that type of shit?
I love that. I think
that changed your view on the monetization of YouTube, or is that just too
no?
To really care about?
It changed my view on actually doing lives because I'm like, hey, you know, if you can make a little money, make a little money. because you know how it is with this. Like when your sponsors pay you, they pay you one time a year,
Sure.
so you got to go through the whole year. So even if it's, $20,000, that $20,000 goes relatively quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's without you doing any traveling or any
Right,
real like
right.
on location work at all.
Exactly.
Not to mention not to mention shit like that we were talking about before we started.
Right.
And like let's expand past this brio, because like look, with the green screen, I could give a fuck, right? But with a nice background wall like you've got, I think the Sony behind me would be really nice to have. Now, you know as well as I do, I didn't buy it as a fucking streaming camera. I didn't spend $4,000 on a camera with a lens and all the gear to stream with it, right? I have isopods I have to take macro photos of. I have snakes and stuff I have to take photos of, right? Like I have a way to employ a new camera in my operation, but to delude myself that this podcast would generate enough money in order to pay me back for where I sit and the fucking desk that lowered down as I came in the shot when we started the fucking show, I mean, to delude myself that way, no, not really. But you know what? You never know, because as I was telling you before we started the show, I reconnected with a paralyzed friend of mine that I helped through some stuff. He's younger. He's been paralyzed the same amount of time as me, but he's about 12 years younger than me. Hit me up and actually asked me if we could do some podcasting about like motivational speaking for paralyzed people and stuff. And honestly, dude, that's money right there. Right. Because then you get sponsors like fucking, like I told him, I was like, dude, we're going to talk about sex so much, bro. We're just going to get sponsored by all the erectile medication companies and all the fucking penis pump makers and sex toy people or whatever. We'll get enough sponsors from that type of industry to carry that show through. Right.
Right.
So if you can do that, like if you've built your little area there, granted, your area is very specific to this show, to your show, to Snakes and the Fat Man, right? But if your area was a little bit more inert and you had other interests, you could essentially be doing 3 shows a day, 1 day a week, and working 1 day a week and monetizing well, if you had the topics to work on and the drive and desire to get.
Well, and also if I was just doing this and didn't have a day job and, just had fun, like you got a $4,000 camera that you're shooting with. I don't got I got $1,000 Sony here and I'm shooting with that, just the parts of my
and just
show.
As good. And just as good as I'm going to do here.
It's decent. And I'm, when I travel, I don't have to worry about ruining a $4,000 camera.
Right.
And I'm not shooting new episodes of the fucking Mandalorian in my fucking house. I'm a fucking.
I did like it when you wrote that to me when you were messaging me and you were like, "I'm not shooting the next episode of the Mandalorian."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh yeah, there
behind
you go."
a table.
Here you go. Look, there's a colorful comment. Here you go. There you go. There's a good one.
Oh yeah, fucking, I love her. She's fucking awesome.
All right. Yeah. Well, however we say your name from Lord of the Rings,
that's Val. Awesome. Yeah.
We'll just call her Val. It's fine. I just don't like murdering names like Valindris, even though it's probably exactly how it's said.
That's a Game of Thrones fucking name.
Oh, okay. Well, that's like I said, Lord of the Rings. I was close. Same thing. Different dragons. I don't know.
Yeah.
Different dragons killing towns or some shit. So anyway, so the technology involved in the podcasting and stuff and all was very alluring to me when I did the podcast before. As you remember, I didn't just start with an Xbox headset.
Right.
There's
dudes doing it now that have a laptop camera, laptop microphone, and that's how they're running their shit.
Dude, I watch a crypto podcast from like a fucking 60-year-old guy that does it on an iPhone, like a Pro Max. And this motherfucker looks like he's sitting in a goddamn newsroom, dude.
Yeah.
And he literally took another phone and turned it around on his setup. And you could hear everyone that ever spent money on a setup go,
yeah.
Fuck, this dude is rocking it. He's like skyrocketing in views and popularity too. And it's all when he did a critique questioning with a video guy on YouTube, and the video guy's like, why are you asking me for advice? Right. Next time I need to use a camera in a phone to do a production, I'm gonna fucking call you, to learn how to do it, because the guy had it maxed out. So it wasn't that. I just like having the geek gear. I do. I like it. I like the audio setup from the old podcast. I'm probably going to use it a couple times here on this show.
Right.
Maybe change it up a bit, you know. And then I told you also, I put not a what you call it? Sure. The expensive one. Not this one. I put the pod mic with the Rodecaster Procaster 1 board at my house.
Right.
And I'm waiting for my green screen to come in from my bedroom where I can just, because I got like a big office set up in the corner of my bedroom where I can just pull it in like that. And I can do my Friday live feeds and stay at home to where when I'm done, I can just go right to hanging out with my kid and I don't have to go drive fucking 30 minutes home.
Right.
You know, because this location here, I'm at the farm. I'm at my old house where I used to live, where all the ball pythons used to be and all that stuff used to be, you know. But yeah, there's still 80 ball pythons next door. And we got like 4 clutches this year. So, I mean, we're not done, right? It's just not an active, progressive ball python march. And it may become that again.
So what other people want to know, at least that I've been asked about you.
Okay.
What are you doing for money right now? You're not selling ball pythons. You're not charging people for the machining. I'm building the machines and I've got jobs coming through as things are coming along, right? I wanted to do the US ARC signs because I thought it would be a really good way to just kind of kick it out there and help them at the same time. Do something when I don't have a lot of money, because I did take it pretty firmly in the ass this whole time. But you know what? That's okay. Like, that's okay. I mean, and if we can touch on that real quick in the last few minutes, I'd like to talk about the fish store for a second, bro. You got questions about the fish store specifically? Yeah.
Or did I not answer your ball python comeback?
Oh no, because I feel, and this is something that you're going to disagree with. Okay. I feel that you are a failed ball python breeder. I feel that I am a failed ball python breeder. Okay?
Because we stopped?
Because we stopped, because we didn't get what we
didn't extract what we had originally hoped for.
What we thought. Yeah, exactly. So
what if I told you I never really thought that ball pythons would get me that far, much less buy me a 5-acre property with a house and cars and all kinds of shit. I mean, I got shit like for days, bro. Like it's garbage. It's all junk. It's like going through a fucking hoarder's mansion, but it is literally a hoarder's mansion. This building is fucking like, it's full of shit. And we filled a construction dumpster with this motherfucker before I moved in here from the fish store. Like, we filled a construction dumpster with shit. In this building is almost, it's like 3,500 square feet. So, I mean, it's not small, right? I have a 90 watt laser. I have a 4 foot by 4 foot CNC router that is going to be running hopefully next week. Just waiting on some extra plumbing parts to be done. I've got a laser that is capable of doing metal, like cups and metal business cards and things like that. I'm really looking forward to making stuff. 3D printers to print things like gecko food, water dish holders, things like that. I really would like to get into the ancillary goods side of things and the discussion of ball pythons in history. Okay. That's where my goals are. So to the fish store, fire away if you can. I mean, I'm like leading you, I guess, but I know people want to hear
I don't know
whether or not it fucking crashed and burned or whether or not it made money. Well, I don't really,
No. I would assume that the fish store made some money, right? I mean,
not much, but some. It floated.
I mean, it had to make some fucking money.
Okay.
The funny thing is that when you were, I think it was prior to you selling the fish store, you had done a live from the fish store, and you were like,
"Fuck the fish people," right?
Yeah, you're shitting all over the fish people.
All over the fish people. Right? You know what's funny? Can I say something about this real fast? Because I want to know if you have the opinion that some shit smells better than other shit.
No.
All shit is shit. Everybody sucks equally. No. I don't personally think everybody sucks equally. I really don't think that. I don't think everybody sucks equally. I think that if we take the pet industry as a whole and we squarely look for the most fucking murderers, It's square in the fish department. Okay. So there are many reasons why the fish world is difficult. If you have a big municipality, it's not as difficult. Okay. I have a very small town here. Even though I am near New Orleans, I'm not in New Orleans. I'm near Baton Rouge. I'm not in Baton Rouge. I'm near Gulfport, Mississippi. I'm not in Gulfport, right? I'm an hour away from each one of those things. Squarely planted, the store, squarely planted in the most conservative county of, or parish, if you will, of Louisiana, where most of the employees that make big money work in oil, Chevron, and the like, right? So I don't have to tell you how bad things got when Trump was no longer in office and gas prices and oil went funny and shit. Dude, my business went like, fool. I mean, you want to talk about an asshole tightening up. You look at the fucking Shopify books. It fucking tightened up faster and scared the fuck out of me after free money COVID. Now, up until free money COVID ended, I had a fucking blast, okay? I had new problems. I had new issues, right? New headaches. You know what I mean? Yeah, no?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like when you left rock and roll, did you leave a set of headaches to go to a new set of headaches in a new world?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's just life.
I know that, but was it refreshing to feel the new set of headaches?
Yeah. No, I
In the
can see where
beginning.
you're coming from. Yeah.
Right? You
New
got to realize, bro,
problems,
I've been exotics by nature 24 hours a day since I was 20 years old. And since before then, I worked in a retail store that I was balls out all the time, right? Like when my boss wanted to remodel the store, dude, I didn't clock in. I learned how to construct a pet store. Like that's what he told me. I'm like, bro, am I getting paid? And he was like, nope, don't have money for that. You want to learn how to build a pet shop though? Come work. I'm like, fuck it. Sounds good to me. What am I going to do? I'm 17, 18 years old. I'm going to sit home and jerk off on a Friday night. You know? No, I'm going to go to fucking work for free and I'm going to learn some shit. And that man taught me how to build the fish racks that I built in my shop 3 years ago that are still holding water up now, like the day I built them. So, you know, there's valuable lessons learned along the way. And I will always be a fish guy. I will always be a reptile guy. I feel part of both communities. I feel the negativity from both communities, right? Because I'm honest with you fucking people. I don't go home at night and bitch at a mirror. I bitch at you. And yeah, you might not like that. And maybe that's a bad way of doing it. Maybe I won't do that again this time around or not as much. But at the end of the day, dude, a lot of my bitches got shit done. A lot of that stuff got stuff finished and solved, right? So maybe some of it didn't. Some of it put me in a world of shit, like you said. Some of it put me in quicksand that I know I have a lot of faith from you, a lot more than I deserve from you after all that we've been through.
Well, dude, I fucking spent 7 months telling you, come back. Yeah. There's room for you. People want to hear from you. And then you fucking shit on me on the fucking live like a douche. Like, and then you say, oh, I thought it would be funny. Here's the issue and the problem that I think that you got to look out for is that you are honest. There's no doubt about that. But your honesty comes off very douchey and it turns off people. Okay.
I agree.
So
I agree. I do.
And you definitely have followers that would take a bullet for you. But
that I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah. But okay.
At the end of the day, you're going to be the reason that they get shot at. So fucking thank God that they're
now. Okay, let's. And I'm not going to talk about it very much, but I would like to say that people that were involved in sponsoring products through my podcast when I was fighting with Brian or doing things like that, yes, they do take on that negativity. I think they do. I think that the advertisers definitely take on the opinion of the host to a certain extent. But at the same time, wouldn't you rather listen to someone who's not owned by that? Or, I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm going to go out of the lane just to be like sensational or something like that. But I truly believe the sponsors that are on board right now feel me and feel that maybe the different Sean might have a shot. Because honestly, bro, I'm not sure either. Right. I'm unsure.
Yeah.
I'm unsure.
But also you got to think, and this is in no way a dig at the people who are sponsoring you, but because you have a history of not being able to get out of your own way, fucking there's and
Can you do?
they
Can
want
you?
to sponsor you. Wait, they want to
That's
sponsor
fine.
you because even if you crash and burn, it'll be a big deal. And they'll get
Right,
their,
right, right. Yeah, it's a
they'll be
fucking
there.
right. Who doesn't want their label on the side of the plane that didn't burn up in the crash, right?
Right.
I mean, who doesn't want that, right?
Exactly.
I'm with you. Any publicity is good publicity. I feel that, but at the same time, those back in those days, things could have been done differently. You know what I mean?
Well, of course.
Challenges could have been made differently. Same challenges, no, same exact challenges on the same exact people that needed to be challenged, because you know as well as I do that some of those issues were not resolved, but pushed forth by me being that way.
Right, but also some of those issues were pushed far enough to where you made irreparable damage on certain
myself.
relationships. To yourself.
To myself.
Yeah.
So I fell on a sword for everyone, and I
But you
only
didn't really
sacrificed
fall-
a few.
You didn't really fall on the sword for everyone because nobody really cared. You know,
People
I mean,
cared. People cared when Barchak wasn't showing the scaleless ball python, not a photo, not a video, or he wasn't bringing it to shows at
you know
all.
who cared about that? Who cared?
The investors of the
$50,000 investors. That's
investors
all
of
who
the
cared
project.
about it. Okay?
Absolutely. Well, and the ball python community that had hopes to invest in the project, right? Not just the people involved were behind that. Do you know that the most downloaded reptile photograph in history up until like 5 years ago was the original photograph of the scaleless ball python?
Right. But that's like saying Jurassic Park broke all kinds of records when it came out. There's been years since then, and nobody's impressed by a dinosaur anymore.
I understand that, but we're not talking about now. We're talking about when I made an ass of myself in 2016, when it was relevant, or 2015, when I literally had to come out on a podcast and say, hey, motherfucker, we've spent collective millions. Can you please show us a product? Can you please just show us something? Show us it moving from 30 fucking feet away. They showed us it moving from 15 feet away. You know, that's about all we got. And then I got a screenshot today on my phone. I'd meant to upload it here, and it was a screenshot of Brian and Lori announcing that they were bringing the scaleless ball python to Daytona that year. If you remember when it showed up at Daytona, and everybody ridiculed and like ran over it with a steamroller. I mean, it was horrible, right? I had no involvement in bashing the MORPH, dude. I was invested in it. I was trying to get them to come out and show the shit, to show the world that this thing is real, that it's good, that it's healthy, and it's fine. You know, that they were saying what they were saying and what they were showing or not showing were two different disparaging things, right? That thing showed up, and Brian's exact words in that post were, the scaleless will be in Daytona. I'm just tired of all the drama. And at that point, dude, I bought my snake from Mike Wilbanks, Chris.
Right,
I called Mike Wilbanks and I said, Mike, can you please ask Brian for a photo for your investors, for the people that bought them from you? So we can show people? Can you please just get a photo from Brian? Dude, he won't answer my emails. Dude, he won't answer my calls. Dude, so I call him. He don't answer. I text him. He don't answer. So you know what I did? Fucking turn on a board. Made a recording. Made it a soapbox. And that
I get it.
And it worked a little bit, Chris. Hang on. It worked a little bit, and that was the drug. That was the drug that allowed me to treat this microphone like a soapbox. And that, I think, is where we really tore off.
Was the just because I don't remember and I'm curious, was the scaleless prior to or after you started berating Brian in public at Tinley? Where
the scaleless stuff was prior to the racks and shit out on the curb at Tinley.
Okay.
Yeah, the scaleless stuff was prior to that. Like, we had already broken our friend bond because Brian and I were extremely close. And I am very happy that he seems to be in a good place with his life. I want to say that publicly as well. It's like, you can call it an ass kiss, or you can call it or whatever. If he's a happy person where he is, I'm very happy about that.
What are you trying to get invited to next year's Animal Con?
No. And I'd never do it just on the sake of what I stand for as myself, that I would never do a show like that. But and that has nothing to do with anybody that is doing the show. And I sure hope that it's good for the industry. I sure hope, since it's being held in the great, most regulated motherfucking state of Florida, that it helps lighten the load of regulation and not worsen the load of regulation. I hope that there is some goal there for them to use their popularity and use their voice to help with regulation, which is why I really wanted to make those signs, bro, because you know as well as I do, dude, that sign looks awesome, and it feels good to have it on the wall, and like it feels good to be a part of something like that, Like I couldn't pay back everyone that donated to me when I broke my fucking back, but I sure as fuck can raise money for that. I sure as fuck can do whatever I can for that. So running machine time without charging for it and charging the bare minimum for materials and packaging and shipping is what I'm trying to do there to help push it forward. That's what I want to do to push it forward. So if the Animal Con people can do that with a much bigger voice and a much bigger purse, then so be it. I can support that. But a show like that, I don't think A, I would ever be invited to. B, I don't see myself ever participating in. But that doesn't mean I don't think it doesn't have a place in the world. I think it has a place in the world. Just not for me. Yeah.
All right. Well.
But yeah. So like, dude, and look, if I can say I'm sorry in one podcast to everyone that I offended in the industry that I shit on, I am truly sorry, because I do love the reptile industry. I love going to shows. I love talking to people. I love transacting in the space. I like seeing eggs hatch. I like seeing snakes breed. I like all of it. I'm not uninterested in any of that, and it's not all about money, because for me, man, honestly, you said, what am I doing about money? I'm renting this apartment that I used to live in. I'm living in my mother's house with my daughter for my daughter's sake, because she's 30 minutes away in a different school system completely, because the school system that this building is in is, I get really cheap taxes, bro. Like my fucking property tax is nothing. But the school system in this parish that I live in is very bad, that this house is in. So we moved her when she started kindergarten. We moved her into my mom's, and then my mom asked me if I'd come and live in there with them and help out and do stuff. And that's what we got. So, I got some expenses pared down there. And then, dude, I got like $50,000 worth of machines in the other room, just got to get them going, Right. And this is just, that's it. Got to get them going. And so now it's just going to be for USR, because it's just fun. And I think it's show season, and I think it's a good time to do it.
Well, nowadays, when is not show season, right?
Well, no, you know what I mean by show season. I mean show season, like Tinley, October, and Arlington, September, and all the big shows where everybody's maxed out, but you're right. They all have big, like look at Pomona and all. I haven't gone to those shows, but they look enormous from the broadcast that I've seen. Have you gone to a super show lately?
I was at an Herba show when I lived in San Diego.
Oh, God, Herba.
Pretty big. Yeah, Herba. Yeah.
That was back in the day.
Yeah.
Classy shit, though. You always had some great stuff back then.
So nice,
especially the West Coast stuff. That was a classy fucking show.
Yeah.
They used to do table awards, guys. They used to roll around and give best snake in the show award, best lizard in the show award. They used to do all kind of cool stuff. Now shows just say, buy a table and buy a ticket. Come and buy ball pythons or whatever.
Yeah. It was one of the bigger ones. I think I was I was at one Pomona show, but again, this was a while back.
Yeah.
All right.
What? I'm going to show the good comments, right? I'm going to share the good shit. The people that are rooting for me. Got to share this one too, right? Two of the most listened podcasts. Well, MADRIVER, you better dig deep in those pockets. I hear Fat Man's probably expensive to sponsor.
Well, MADRIVER is what's the name, right? Woodruff?
Yeah.
Woodruff is awesome.
I love him, dude. When I saw that whole just simple map of the country thing that he does on his fucking Instagram, I was like, I wish more people did that.
Yeah.
Just to feel like I wish I did that, man. Like did a map of the world and blotted out everywhere we shipped and stuff. Bro, that'd be amazing now.
Well, right? Yeah, you could do that now in 10 minutes on Photoshop, right? So just.
Yeah, but I can't do the books on where I shipped to and where shit went. Look, Peter was in the chat earlier. You saw Peter, huh? In the earlier
Peter
part
Snakes?
of the chat. Peter Snakes was in here earlier.
Okay, that commie fuck. All right.
Yeah, that commie fuck. And he's got ABN snakes, and I can't ship to fucking Russia.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
I know how that shit went back in the day. It was just a bunch of ham pickups, you know? Oh, I live in Germany. Okay. There you go. Go to the show, pick it up. All right. What am I supposed to know? You know, fuck it. You know? But dude, I totally feel you. I appreciate your position on it. I hope I can prove you wrong. I really hope I can get it back in place and be the Sean I was before my head got all scrambled up with a lot of calamity and tragedy, you know, because I was a pretty cool fucking person before I met that woman.
Yeah. No,
I was a pretty cool guy. Like, I was a pretty cool fucking guy. Like, I really was. And I'm not going to blame it on the woman. I'm going to blame it on me being a shithead around the woman. You know?
I would just say that she was a fucking handful. I mean, I remember.
And she's still
I remember some shit about her.
She's still a fucking handful. And a bit changed on that. It's just somebody else's handful or juggling. I don't think it's a handful. I think it's more like one-handed juggling.
That's,
but fucking retard sitting in a hamster wheel.
The only thing that you got to watch is, don't be a douche. That's all. Fucking that's like, how hard is that really at the end of the day?
It's really not hard unless you're a fucking asshole to me, and then I'm gonna be a fucking douche, dude. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah,
some people deserve.
If somebody's an asshole to you, of course you could be a douche, but fucking, it's definitely when you fucking you were talking that shit after I was fucking encouraging you for fucking 6 goddamn months. You were like, I ain't gonna play no has-been rock and roll on my show. People don't like that, man. And then I confronted you about it, and you're like,
it was supposed to be a light little thing that I was bullshitting about, that I laughed
you were
about.
Just like, oh, dude, it was only some banter. It was no problem.
It was banter. I can't even play a guitar. You know I admire your skills.
I'm like fucking dickhead. I spent the last 6 months telling you come back,
dude.
And then the first chance
I'm gonna say an asshole thing.
Shit.
Dude, I specifically remember you weren't so nice about the Patreon comments. You know what I mean? You were pretty rough around the edges about the sticking your hand out and panhandling.
Oh, when I was saying I'm not going to beg for money,
you were pretty rough about that shit. Yeah. So you know what?
This is Dutch, back then.
This is Dutch door action, bro. This is Dutch door action. Door swings both ways.
Yeah, you know when I thought it wasn't it wasn't a handout. When I saw people making fucking like $4,000 a month off Patreon, I'm like, but for doing that, yeah,
you're like, oh fuck, this is for real. Yeah, I did well with it, but I never did it enough. Okay, so let's just say, do you think you could run a ball python collection, even with one employee? If you think you could run a ball python collection that had, not ball python collection, a reptile collection that had a total of, let's say, at the least amount of snakes a year, 2,000 snakes, and the most amount, 4,000 snakes.
Okay.
Could you run a full-time podcast weekly and edit and do all that and run an operation that big? Would you want to? Could you? Yeah, you could. Would you want to?
But I would not want to.
You would not want to. And at that point, if you believe so much in what you're saying and what you're preaching and what you're doing, isn't it making you enough money that you don't have to worry about the YouTube and the monetization and all that bullshit? That's why your big dogs got silent. That's why you're, back to my same old thing, right? For those people who know Pete Call, who brought the piebald ball python to market, Pete confronted me in Daytona one year and asked me how it was true that I was selling out of het piebald ball pythons before he would, because he was Mr. Pied. He was Pete Call. How the fuck was I selling out before him and for more money than him? My answer was simply, I answer the phone. That's it.
You know what your answer should have been?
I pick it up.
Your answer should have been, I'm just selling normals as hets, so don't worry about it.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You're out of your fucking mind. And it does happen in big collections. It does happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to my customers. It's happened in cases when I've done every single thing I could to make it better for them, including the understanding that when it happened to me, I was told to fuck off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's the right.
And that is just not okay with me. Like, I'm not going to tell you to fuck off if that actually happened. Like, if that actually fucking happened, I'm not going to tell you to fuck off. Now, do I have a monetary means to make you whole the way you should be? No way. No way in the world. But I remember keenly when I moved from one building to this building. I've only moved once as a breeder like this, right? I moved pet stores before, but I only moved the breeding operation one time. That very year, I sent out a pair of het albino ball pythons for $175 plus shipping to a guy who didn't prove out the male, right? And it turned out the male was the one that was the weak one, not the female, right? The male. And so I asked him, I'm like, dude, what are you targeting for? He said, I really want to make an albino spider Mojave, which I didn't know why he wanted to do that. But regardless, he wanted to do that. And I was like, well, why don't I send you a, female albino spider with size on her already as a replacement for the male het albino, and you can just pick up an albino or het albino at a show because they're cheap now. Oh man, you do that? Really? And I was like, yeah, dude, what'd you expect me to do? I'm not going to hang up on you like the two guys that did the same thing to me, Right. And they were huge, right? They were huge. They were magnanimous names in the industry, enormous names in the industry, but they also had enormous facilities with bunches of employees. And a bunch of bullshit that can fucking happen, right? Shit does happen. Well, I thought you told me you sold me hets. Well, dude, I didn't think they weren't het. I would never set out to cause myself a problem 3 years to 4 years from now. I would never do that intentionally, but it could happen. And the times it's happened in this collection has been literally twice. Right. And one of them is still in limbo because the dude was all talking to me last year and then just stopped talking to me. He got COVID. And I checked up on him and I was like, hey, dude, everything cool? And I never heard back. It's like, dude, if you don't come to a breeder to talk about your problems with the breeder, you absolutely will lose every time. Period.
Yeah.
You have to talk about your problems.
That's the whole thing right now is that everybody's fucking sucking each other's ass and everybody's so nice to each other now. Okay. As opposed to, 10
when we were coming up?
Yeah. I mean,
when we were coming up, when I was coming up and you were looking in through the window, because you were looking in through the window. I know you were, right? Like you weren't invested in like 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5. You weren't invested in there, right? But you were looking in the window, right?
I was still buying expensive animals, but just for no intention of breeding them.
Right. Just curio pets at that point. You were just fancy shit, right? So like if we look at it and we say, fuck, man, like we backtrack a little bit to when we were talking about Ralph earlier, right? Dude, I respect the fuck out of Ralph. And Ralph and I, when we talk privately, have highly respectful, on-level conversation, and I love it. I don't expect him to carry that to the public or to you, per se, but I definitely respect the man. Every snake I ever bought from him made me money. Every snake I ever bought from him ate its fucking ass off. All of that shit. Limey's late to the show. Hey, Limey, welcome to the show late. Gotta love Limey.
There's my boy right there.
But yeah, so listen up, dude. Like, that was fucking, like, we were, like, bleeding each other, okay? Yeah. We were, like, cutting each other daily. Like, we were like, fuck you. I have 5 ball pythons, and you have 5 ball pythons, and there's only 5 people in the world that want ball pythons. Fuck you, right? Like, until the internet opened it up, right? Even Morph Market really did the fucking trick, right? Morph Market really did the trick right at the right time when everybody was fucking things up with Facebook auctions and little groups everywhere selling shit for all different prices. Nobody wanted to go to King Snake and use Jeff's constantly moving board that your ads would be kicked off of in 2 hours and shit. Yep. Jeff did not innovate at all. Not like, dude, if I sweat that much, I want to at least have work show for it. Just saying. That fucking King Snake I would have hired John Lehman if I was kingsnake.com. I would have found me a John Lehman before John was looking for a pet snake, because it's so fucking foreign and funny to me that the best thing that hit this industry in the last 30 years came about because a motherfucker was frustrated that he couldn't find a snake for his kid.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. The right guy with the right frustration changed the entire fucking world.
Yep.
And you think that me with my frustrations can't potentially make change? We can. We just have to do it smart, and we have to do it more.
Yeah, but granted, but fucking Lehman was never a douche. Okay,
Lehman was never a douche. Lehman is as far from a douche as is possible. Lehman would have to try. Like, I would like to, John, I know you're gonna watch this. I love you to death because you are one person that believes in me still. He still believes in Sean. Or he wants to train wreck to broadcast the morphmarket.com. One of the two, right? The train flying in flames off the edge of the fucking canyon down in the bottom. Yeah, I got that GIF like 3 times this week. but yeah, people trying to psych me out of doing this show with you, sending me fucking train wreck, fucking memes and shit. Oh, it's brutal out there still, bro. You think everybody's sucking each other's ass. Everybody's sucking each other's ass on social media. Behind closed doors, they're ready to fucking bleed each other.
Dude, I get a dozen emails every week telling me to go kill myself, so I am well aware of that. Okay,
really, that many?
Yeah.
Wow, you've arrived.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's that little. You know, so
that little. That's an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment. I don't get one, and you know how I am.
Yeah,
I don't get one single one, at least not yet.
I get a lot.
Man, that's all I had motorboating.
I wanna bring up this other thing that I think was funny as fuck about you.
Oh,
when
Jesus.
you were in the argument with Barchek,
yes,
you sold your a lorry ball for like $1.98, right?
I adopted out the lorry ball for
just
like
trash that fucking. How much did you pay for that lorry ball?
10 grand.
Yeah,
but it was a fucking red Xanthic.
That red Xanthic. Yeah.
Well, it actually isn't. It actually isn't. Now, listen, I didn't do it to trash the project. I had already sold tons of lorry balls, and selling one adult male lorry, the original one, selling one adult male lorry for $1.98.
Yeah, it's not going to kill it.
It's not going to do anything, right? Well, while we're at it, why don't we talk about the show that you said that I accosted Barchak on video on? My scaleless ball pythons, the price on the case said 5% less than Barchak. That's what the price sticker said. 5% less than whatever he's fucking selling it for. If he's selling it for $1.95 cents gets it.
Yeah.
That's it, period. But it was just
I
like,
encourage
dude, how do you hang on a minute? How do you start and sell a project with that paramount of a value and then sleep on every fucking detail and not help your buyers at all? If that was a Honda motorcycle or a fucking Tesla vehicle or whatever, every owner of that dealership would be suing.
Possibly. Or they would have other people come in, or they would feel so frustrated that other people would come into the project and either prove it or disprove it.
Correct. At the same time, though, when you knew, now we know. Now we are how many years after this? This rant I went on was 7 years ago, 7 years ago, right? Now we're that far out. How many scaleless ball pythons have died and survived, right? How many of them have problems? How hard are they to keep? They can be kept. They can absolutely be kept. Absolutely not. There has not been a female that has never ever produced to date that anyone's ever known of, okay? The biggest problem was originally when I was doing this rant, there were only 2, you remember, a male and a female, and the female died early on. And he never admitted she died. He never came out and said she died. He never said a reason why she died. She had a half of a jaw. I mean, her jaw was missing halfway down. Like it was gone. Okay. So plenty of easy reasons to say why it died. Right. But you know as well as I do, when the Powerball died, Spot Nose took a fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
That before this is really what's funny. Before the scaleless ball python, the Spot Nose was our worst investment to date. Because of what happened, because the very first Powerball died and everybody said it was a weak gene and the price went, my friend paid $25,000 for his, and I got some from him throughout, our business dealings together. But that $25,000, dude, we sold the very first one for, I think, $1,200 or something like that. And that's when Ben was still with us. Right. And Ben and I were at a show in Arlington, and I looked over at Ben and I was like, bro, you bought into Spot Nose with me, right? And he's like, yeah, that was one of the first projects I bought. And I said, what did you do? And he said, I've got 70, 60 female adult Spot Nose on the rack that I held back. And I'm like, holy fuck, what are you going to do to Spot Nose? He was like, I'm going to blow it up. Everything I got in the Rennick collection is going to be Spot Nose something. He's like, I don't really have a choice, which is why the very first puzzle gene he brought it into, before his passing was Spot Nose. And, I worked with David. I work with Dave to work on the male that we have here. The male that I have here is his original first production male. He's a terrible breeder. As soon as I get a visual, puzzle from it, mail, it's going back to Dave.
Right.
Because it was Dave's original. Dave's getting it back, just like I told him. But again, that's the same thing, bro. 4 years ago, when I pieced out, I'm like, Dave, when I produce a visual puzzle, you'll have him back.
Right.
And that was the deal, because there was money on the table there, right? And so here we are. Here I am 4 years later. The mail is, I've got a clutch in the incubator right now, Chris. If there's a mail puzzle in there that's decent and viable, this mail's going back. Right.
Right.
So, you got to like keep things straight and you got to keep things moving. But dude, there's been so many little bullshit things I've been caught up in over the years that I shouldn't have been caught up in. I had fucking $50,000 worth of boas on breeder loan with a guy that just died from a foot infection. Just randomly just fucking died from a foot infection. And where's my boas? All of a sudden, this guy's got him and this guy's got him and this dude's got him on king snake. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? What? And then everybody's like, well, can you prove they're yours? Nobody ever told us about this. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this shit. And I get in this huge political problems with these BOA people that I have respect for over the fact that I'm like, bro, it's fucking mine. Like, look at his picture on the forum. Like, when I made it, it's mine, and it's just like bullshit drama just follows us around. And so, yeah, I'm eventually going to be a douche about some things, right? Like, dude, I banned 3 customers from my fish shop. The 3 richest customers that I know of that ever walked in the door. And they were the 3 people that treated me and my business and my employees the worst. They spent the least amount of money. They asked for the most deals and they complained the most.
Right.
What
that happens all the time. Yeah.
Sure it does. Sure it does. But you know what you can do? You get the fuck out and you can go somewhere else. And then you wait a minute. Why are you here? Why'd you drive an hour and a half to give me a hard time? Oh, that's because the shop that's 5 minutes from you has already told you the same fucking thing.
Right.
So you know what? It's not Seanism this time. It's youism. It's get the fuck out of here. Right. Because at what time, dude, this guy comes in, Chris, he shows me on his phone the bill from his credit card company of money he spent at my competitors and how much money it was. Over $20,000 spent at my competitors on an $80,000 credit card balance. And I looked at him square in the eyes. Well, square in the eyes is again from a fucking wheelchair. Dude's like 6'2". I looked up at him and I said, dude, pay your fucking bill. I spent $250,000 on the fish stuff in this store. None of it's on a credit card. What's your fucking excuse? And honestly, bro, he didn't know how to answer that. He runs the fucking Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. He didn't know how to answer that. When I was just like, why are you throwing your debt in my face to show me that you're a good client? That's distasteful as fuck. And that's the kind of shit that would get you bounced. And that's the only time I ever bounced people from the shop. The 3 people were 2 rich guys that had no respect for me, and then a rich kid who also didn't have respect for me, who ended up going to prison and all kind of shit. So regardless, the customers that didn't like me in the fish store couldn't deal with me being me, right? So like when you come in, Chris, do you have a fish tank? Have you ever had a fish tank?
I've had a fish tank, but
you ever had a saltwater fish tank?
I never had a saltwater.
Okay, so you never had a reef tank, right?
Nope.
But you understand the principle.
Yeah,
right?
Of course I do. Yeah.
You understand the principle. Look at this. Visual aid. Visual aid. I had a customer come in my shop. This tank is 3 gallons. I built this background filter thing on my laser. I got a customer come in my shop. He bought one of these 3-gallon tanks right here. Okay, that's how big it is. Tiny. You see it in the video. All right. Now that tank, most people say can't be saltwater. Most people say can't be a reef, but it can. And I got one of my very novice when he started customers keeping a full-blown reef tank that he sent me pictures of today in the twin of that aquarium that I just showed you. 3 gallons. Okay. Now, this is a 3-gallon ocean, Chris. It's balanced. You understand that, right? Like it has to have the balance of the ocean in 3 gallons all the time. So in order to train people on how to keep an ocean in a box in your living room, where the 2 biggest culprits are cyanobacteria and dinoflagellates, which are the 2 bacterias that produced the atmosphere we live in.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I'm telling you that it gets very frustrating when you're trying to talk to people who think that just by listening to what you have to say solves their problems.
Believe me, I'm right there with you right now.
Okay. I was just basically trying to dwell on the fact that the fish world is very more intuitive than the reptile world. When you're trying to tell someone and teach someone and keep someone on how to keep an aquarium up, it's a very difficult thing to do in comparison to how to set up a ball python. Okay.
Right.
It takes more patience. It takes more communication. It takes more knowledge. And honestly, dude, it takes more fucking honesty. And some people feed their fucking fish too much. I never once said what customers would say. I had a customer come in, a guy come in. He said, "Look at my fish tank." I said, "Yeah, you're feeding it too much." He's like, "I'm not feeding it." Well, who's feeding it? My wife's feeding it. Okay. Your wife's feeding too much. And he was like, "Well, I know that." And I was like, "Well, why don't you stop her?" And he was like, "Have you seen my son?" And I was like, "No comment." I can't comment on your son. But he was basically saying his son was such a fat ass, his wife was overfeeding the tank. I have to tolerate that to deal with the clientele and help them be successful.
I really think that this whole thing is going off the rails right now. Because I'm looking at the comments, right?
Dial me back.
What's that?
Dial me back.
Right. Well, dude, is fucking uninteresting. I think that we gotta keep people smiling, man. All right. And when you start talking about diaphanolites and fucking an ocean in a
two
box,
scientific words on a show about scientific stuff, bro.
This is not a show
Snakes
about
and the Fat Man.
Yeah. Oh, but it's bullshit.
But it is bullshit. That's right. It's bullshit. And it's what I've been doing my fucking life for the last 3 years. And you had pertinent questions about the fish store. We talked about the fish store plenty before we even started this interview.
Holy shit. For the fucking love of God. You are irritating as fuck. All right. Jesus Christ.
All right.
It's an hour 30. I think I don't know. How long do you normally go on these? Well, you never did one before.
I go on these as long as I feel like going on these, but I thought we kind of had a point there that we were reaching, but it's fine.
I'm relaxed. Hey,
it's
dickhead,
fine.
this is why nobody likes you. Relax. I'm just fucking with you. All right.
Where am I not relaxed? Am I red? Am I angry? Am I throwing shit? Did I break a $400 microphone?
You're irritated with me.
I'm not irritated with you at all. I'm not.
You're gonna
you are Chris being Chris. I'm over here like thinking, oh man, it's nice to be back.
Yeah. It is not nice to be back. It is
definitely nice to be back.
Shitty place. Okay. Fucking that you're coming into. It's a world of fucking people talking shit about you fucking all the time.
Okay.
Fucking,
where are they? Because they're not talking shit to me.
Of course.
Whenever I message people and they don't message me, and then whenever they talk shit behind my back that you tell me about and they don't tell me about it, have some fucking balls and talk to me, because I'm here.
You're gonna find a 25-year-old with balls right now in the world? No, you're not.
Then why does the 25-year-old even have an opinion of me?
Because they want the attention.
But where does the attention come in? Like, where does the opinion come from? Is it really just a Brian thing? What else? What else? Tell me something. What else did I do? What else did I do? Exactly. I mean, I sold all my ball pythons for good money. Like, I didn't like ditch the market. I sold the bulk of them to one guy on a secret sort of deal. And then all the other shit got sold for top dollar after some people tried to fuck me in a deal. But that I could definitely see those guys having some ill opinion of me, but that's really just two of them, and that's why I said there was three of them, and I would air more of that bullshit because it is entertaining, but it would drag the third person through the mud, and that would not be good. Right. I would rather not, So see, there's a part of me being a little bit more restrained, Chris. Like I have things that I could really rail about and soapbox.
I have noticed the calm down, Sean.
I'm not.
If you remember, we had that phone call that night.
Bro, I love that.
And I was like, oh, if you're this dude, fucking, you'll be fine, okay?
And that's what I want to be.
2 days later, no, and then 2 days later, you're like, nobody wants to hear that rock and roll bullshit. Fucking right?
Bullshit, dude. That would comment. Go check your timeline, motherfucker. I made the joke about the music before that phone call.
I don't have time to go back and look
I
at
know
that
you
shit.
don't. You don't have time to go back and prove me right. I know you don't have time.
No,
It's
I'm
fine.
very
It's fine.
busy. I'm very
You're very
busy.
busy with tits and ass and Zoom calls. Don't get recorded.
That's exactly right.
Let me duet. Like, for anybody that doesn't know who this fucking guy is I'm talking to.
There we go. Now we're getting to my
Now
fucking
let's get
world.
into the nitty gritty. Now let's
All
go
right.
through it. Okay, let's go through these Patriot shirts that I don't have one of because he runs out of my size because all of us have tits now. Okay, not just women. All right. Fuck, man, my tits grew out to a double XL. I have a hard time getting swag now. Motherfuckers are all like, I'm out of double XL. Can you squeeze into an XL? I'm like, yeah, not on video. I can't.
Wait, you're 2X?
I'm a 2X, bro.
I'll
Now
get you
I'm
one
a 2X.
tomorrow. I'll get you one out tomorrow.
Well, I love you. I appreciate it. I'm so glad you got the sign on time, dude. I love the way it looks on your wall. It looks like it fits in the thing because I was totally not looking forward to trying to get you to hang this painted like kindergarten looking one on your fucking wall.
No. And dude, I was gonna be a real fucking bitch and wear my bullshit shirts because I have 2 of them.
Yeah,
Right.
nah.
But then I was
Save
like,
that for
fuck
another
this guy.
day.
No,
Fuck me. Save that for another day. You're here to shit on me and challenge me, bro, and I appreciate it. I do appreciate it, Chris, because I do love you and I love what you've done. I love what I'm going to keep saying this. I do love what MJ's doing in the space. He's doing a lot and he's loud, and that's wonderful, man. It's always good. If Barchak's happy being Barchak, I'm wonderful with that. As long as he's got clients out there and he's bringing people into the game, I guess I got to look at it that, look, I'd say Bill Brandt could tell me something back in the day that anybody, not specifically about Brian, because I don't even think Brian was really a big shot back when Bill said that, but he said, man, Petco sees 350 people a day average through 1,500 stores in the world. If reptiles get seen that much, they get more exposure at Petco than all the reptile shows in the world put together. And he had a good point there. And, Brian brings that home, but so does your girl from Snake Discovery. What's her name? My kid watches her, but I don't watch it. But, she does a good job. A bunch of these people do a good job. I mean, they are bringing people into the marketplace, right? Like I told you in chat earlier today, I always try to talk Tarantula Girl into putting a full-on animal show together, because who doesn't like a good-looking Latina mom with boobs and reptiles, right? I mean, who doesn't like that? Everybody likes that, right? That's why she had 56,000 followers. That many dads are tuning in for the cleavage, right? But at the same time, dude, it's a captive audience, and you can move forward with that. You can absolutely move forward with that and grow an audience and grow a business. So I'm for it, bro. I think you're right. I think there is room in the space. Let's talk about this photo right here. Let's talk about this picture.
All right, you know
this
why?
Picture actually made me almost cry when you put it up.
Hmm.
I even messaged you when you put it up.
You know why I love this picture? Because you were a dick about it. Read your comment.
Why was I dick about it? You read it wrong.
Read your
You know
comment.
what I love is that you actually tried to make the camera angle help Danny look bigger. He still just stands out not so high. We used to joke about Danny's height constantly.
Okay, now read my comment back to you.
Oh, I didn't even know you commented. Well, he's still bigger than anyone sitting down. That's great. I didn't even know you did that. Fuck. I'm sorry I missed that on my fucking alerts. Oh, I'm glad I brought this picture up. I'm still not jazzing with the whole Instagram alert thing. And the Instagram chat's really buggy, right? Like, do you ever use it?
Well, it's buggy and fucking, I really don't do. I actually do a little bit of chatting on the Instagram chats, but mainly it's still Facebook. That's all.
I got you. Well, look, it was great seeing Danny in that photo. And was Donato a part of Eyeballs?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm really sorry, Donato. I did not know that you were in there with these two knuckleheads.
Yeah,
I knew you were friends.
We started it all together.
But I didn't know you were a vested part in it. But I love Donato. That dinner that we all had in Daytona was wonderful.
Yeah.
And I will cherish it forever. Regardless of what kind of douche you think I am on the air, you know me, Chris. You know me aside from this bullshit. And you know a lot of things about me that a lot of people don't know. And I think it's really important to bring that personal side of things over this time for people to really get it, dude. And I'm not going to use things as an excuse. I don't want to talk about the past all the time.
I'm going to tell a personal story then about you. Okay.
Okay. Hopefully it's not too much of shit on me anymore than you already do.
No, this is about that dinner that we had at Daytona.
Oh, shit.
Right? So
that was fun.
Donato, there was a problem with his foot. So he brought his handicap fucking placard. Right. And we're driving up to the steakhouse and we look at you falling out of your fucking car into the chair, and Donato just stares at me and goes, "I don't think we're gonna park in a handicap."
Just the guilt alone, bro. It was a fucking Sunday night at Fleming's. It was dead. There's
He's
probably
like,
1,000 parking spots empty.
We could walk, yeah.
And you really did park at a regular spot. Donato, dude, if you have a placard, some doctor somewhere is to blame, not you. It's not your fault. Your doctor just signed it. But if it was a leg injury, bro, you totally needed it. But if it was a wrist injury, yeah, fuck you. You don't need it.
Oh, no, it was a leg injury. But,
okay.
But let me tell you something. I got one of those
wrist
fucking...
from jerking off, you know. Oh,
dude,
look at
I got
dude.
one of those placards now, and fucking...
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't want to feel like an old man when I go places. And,
dude, you can't get a permanent plate now, or you just don't want it?
No, I don't want it. I don't want to feel like an old guy. But let me tell you something. That placard fucking is awesome. But I just pull up places now.
Wait. I got one quick for you. Nick Markham. I'm forgetting the name of his reptile company now because whatever, it's initials, right? Nick and I are going with his kid Tristan in the back of my car. We're going to Steak and Shake, right? We pull in Steak and Shake. Fucking parking lot's packed. We pull right up into the front parking spot. His kid, without fucking skipping a beat, just goes, "Yes, with Mr. Sean, we get to park in the front."
Yep.
Just like that. He's like, fucking kid was like 10 years old. It just came running out of his mouth. His dad turned around, looked like he was going to beat the fuck out of him. I'm like, bro, seriously, let him do it. I do suffer a lot of pain for this parking spot. But to be honest, a lot of times I don't even use it. So like, I don't, sometimes I park in handicap spots. Sometimes I don't.
I'm fucking old now, right? So fucking use me for what I'm good for. Okay. So fucking, I'm really good at eating pussy and I'm really good at handicap parking. Okay, so fucking, if somebody wants to jump on board, what is Luke saying now?
Gotcha, Luke. Took care of that for you, bro. I don't know. You got to go back in it now. I wasn't paying attention either. Chris never replies to me, but is red hot messaging my wife. Now that's good.
Oh, dude.
That's a good
His
one.
His wife is so good looking, man.
Yeah, I know. Like, the Zoom calls. The Zoom calls have exposed it.
Like, look at this doofy motherfucker. And fucking, he got one of the hottest... It's like she looks like Samantha Fox back in the day. Okay, he got a hot fucking chick, man.
Hey, Luke, is it true that most of the men in Australia are assholes to women? Like some of us awesome American guys who just roll in there and like pull, or is that not true? I heard you guys were like assholes or something, but I mean, obviously, in comparison to me, according to Chris's critique, I'm a real scum fucking piece of shit. So. You know,
no, I never said scum piece of shit.
No, you didn't, because that is a different quality of person. You're right.
Yes,
I was just an asshole, just a douche, right? Just a douche. We got to go with douche.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for posting this picture of the three of you guys. It was great seeing Danny. What's he up to, dude? Is he still doing pharmacology and such?
Dude, he's killing it. Yeah, he's fucking
not bad.
In an ironic twist, we all work for Danny now. Still.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You still work for Daddy. I'll tell Daddy yesterday.
Yep. That's right.
So yeah, so you go through these Zoom calls, and for anybody that has not participated in one of these debauch motherfuckers, you definitely should. It's like Bourbon Street on New Orleans on Halloween or Mardi Gras every other Sunday. I think you should keep the traffic down to a minimum, and if there is anything recorded, any children in any images, or any snake talk, you are banned. So did I cover the rules pretty much right there, buddy?
Pretty much right there.
Pretty much right there. And unless you have tits, then I think you can talk about a lot of shit and push the envelope.
Oh yeah. If you have,
but you'll just get muted.
Tits, yeah. If you have tits, your kid could breastfeed. I don't care.
Right.
On camera.
Well, we all know how that looks. So I went through that. This big fella can't go anywhere without seeing this fella.
I know.
This dude done blew the fuck up. Since I disappeared, this fella right here done blew the fuck up.
Yep. He don't fuck around, man.
No, he doesn't. He excellent guy. This dude, glad to see this dude still around. Glad to see this guy still around. One of the nicest guys. And you know what? From back in the day of drama, a completely clean nose. No drama on this dude at all. How the fuck he got through that period of time with no drama, I will never know, other than the fact that it was crestedgecko.com back then.
Right.
Everybody was like, what about Garrick? Oh, the Crested Gecko guy? Pff, leave him alone. He's fine. He's got some geckos. You know, that was it. That was his evil plan. He's like, I'm going to make it through the heavy, hard contention of ball pythons, pretending to be a gecko breeder, and then go, poof, I'm here.
Right. Yeah. And he's killing it now. He's
wham, killing it. Everybody that stuck with it killed it. So look, here's the thing. You listen to a lot of the old ball shits. I know probably not all of them, but you heard me say a million times the only way to lose is to quit.
Yeah. The only
So
way
we're
to stop
losers.
making money is to stop breeding.
So we're losers.
Yeah.
In that sense. Right. I mean, I'm less of a loser than you because I'm still breeding snakes and been breeding snakes the whole time. But, you know, I mean, I just didn't I just left the public scene of snakes is all, you know. So, dude, you do very well with promoting your shirts. Your customers do very well promoting your shirts for you. I love that. I think that's amazing. I can't believe, why are you not in Daytona promoting this guitar? What happened?
Oh, I wasn't even. I felt bad that I even put my fucking logo on it. Like
Oh,
I had
okay.
nothing to do with this.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I thought you were really pushing it for them. Like really.
well, I was pushing it, but fucking my logo should not be in there. And I didn't even give the guy credit that fucking owned the guitar. You know, like fucking,
Oh, right.
It was bad. So I apologize.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to put you on the spot by that, though. By the way, I mean I'm liking that you're feeling a little pressure after all the pressure you put on me earlier, but that's feeling good. That's feeling a little even Steven over here, but that's all right. So yes, Snakes on the Fat Man t-shirts, bro. We can go get these at snakesonthefatman.com. Any sizes, including double XL, it seems.
We got even 4XL now. I just sent out 22 today. So
oh yeah, that's great, man. It's great that you're doing that many shirts and you're doing that well with it. I need to get myself back in this swag thing a little bit because I know you guys have bullshit shirts that are worn the fuck out. All
yeah, I got the. You were the first guy to do the camo green.
Yeah, military green. Yeah. Military green is the shit.
They were fucking good.
Military green is the shit. Absolutely, man.
I remember they sold out quicker than the other.
Oh, God. That shit sold out as soon as they hit the show. But if you remember that, I brought them to Arlington the first time, and all the military guys wore them at the booth. JT and Brizzy and all them, they all wore the military. And that was very flattering. I'll always hold that in my mind. It's a fond memory. Bro, look, I certainly, look at that discharge notice. That's always good to see, isn't it? It's always good signing that motherfucker. How many times have we signed that one?
Yeah.
Too many fucking times, bro. Too many fucking times. Let's stay away from that. But, dude, I just rolled through here and I see all these fabulous selfies of all these great looking people. Obviously, most of them women. You know, I mean, you've done well with that. You've done a hell of a job, dude. And you told me today that In Blue is
they're on hold right now.
They're on hold.
Yeah.
They've shed and they're waiting for the next ecdysis cycle.
They're waiting for the next,
And the wall looks beautiful, especially with that spot right there now with that US Art thing right there. Thank you very much for hanging that on that wall. That wall is very special.
Nah, dude, of course, man.
Bro, look, I'm glad I had you on tonight. You know you were going to bust my balls, and that's fine. I'm glad you did. I truly hope that I can prove you right and wrong at the same time. I may be wrong at all the time, but you know what I mean. Some of it's going to be a little funny, right? Some of it's going to be a little funny. I'm going to say some things that some people don't like, right? I'm pretty sure you do that every week.
Yeah.
That's it. But I definitely feel like a different me because the room behind me does not have 800 adult ball pythons in it. I don't feel that I need to be a competitor in this game because here's another quick one for you, bro. How many times did I promote Exotics by Nature during a bullshit promotion? Never.
I don't think you ever did. Yeah.
Never. Yeah.
Bro,
I never even posted a logo of my own company on my podcast. Nothing is more selfless than that.
All right, calm down. All right, it's not like Jesus.
No, it's all right. It needs to be. No, it's just like the ABC's goal with John Feely. It needs to be selfless. It cannot be paywalled. It cannot be Patreon me for this access. It has to be selfless.
So let me ask you this: what are you going to put on your Patreon?
Go look at it. Go look at it. It's just going to have some rewards like T-shirts and cups and things like that. Like throwing up names, just like I did before.
Oh, it's already up there. I didn't think
it's the same Patreon that it's been. Yeah, it's the same one that it's been. I just reenacted it. It's patreon.com.
Oh, is that the one that started charging people?
Yeah, you heard me say. Did you hear me say that, bro? How fucked up is that? Have you ever tried to do that? Like, you've never shut your Patreon down?
No, I never shut it down.
You cannot cancel people's memberships without fucking blocking them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, as a creator, they have to do the canceling.
Right.
And then when I canceled the podcast, there's no way for them to log in to cancel their shit. I didn't find that out until I turned the motherfucker back on last month.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, if those people want a refund, they should easily be able to call the company.
Look at Lobby goes, wow, a cup.
monthly fee for a cup. Sounds like a deal. Yeah, it does sound like a deal. Absolutely. Wow, a cup? Absolutely. Wow, a cup. Abso-fucking-lutely, Limey. Because that is how the original one started, bro. The original one started just by me saying, this is what you get, and this is how you get it. I don't even know how to do it on here because I'm actually logged in. Yeah, I fuck it. I'll do it another time. But I'll log in and show you what I wrote. But dude, at the end of the day, we're making this for absolutely fucking free. I've been sitting here for free. Yeah, I've been talking about me the whole time. But when John Feely and I tackle the fucking entire list of ball pythons on Morph Market, you don't think there should be some sort of a tip involved? You can fucking tip at Sonic now on the screen. Did you see my post on Facebook earlier with the fucking Sonic screen? I went to Sonic today to get a drink. I hadn't been to Sonic because it's right down the street from a fish store. I hadn't gone that way in months, right? I hadn't gone there. So I go to Sonic today, and when you go to check out, I put my credit card in the slot, right? I push the red button because I don't care about COVID on one red button, right? Like I push the red button that everybody pushes at fucking Sonic, right? And they take my order, and I go to pay. I slip my card in. I take my card out. They finally got wise. They finally have a tip screen at Sonic for you to tip the workers that get paid a regular wage, which I kind of have an issue with, but the people at Sonic do leg work, so I can empathize. Right?
Leg work.
I can empathize.
Yeah.
Right. Leg work. Right. No pun intended from this fella here, but glad you caught it because I totally didn't even catch it. I'm so used to this bullshit now. It's fucking like second nature to me. Okay. But I look at the screen and I'm like, wait a minute. There's no way to finish the transaction without touching that screen. And I look at it at an angle. Bro, there's like 5 million fingerprints on it. Nobody's wiped the screen. So I chose to take a photo and share it on Facebook. And hopefully somebody in the Sonic organization comes up with a policy that if these folks are getting paid a full wage and being tipped, they can wipe the screen after every service. Just saying.
That ain't going to happen.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But if you're making everyone touch the screen, see, before I didn't have to touch the screen to go to Sonic. Right. I just had to touch the red button. That's it. Now I have to touch the screen. So I just thought it was interesting. That's it. And like Mike said, it's all about just a tip. It's just a tip.
Yeah.
It's just a tip. And I think that is a good point, right? Because like you said on MJ's podcast, Chris, this shit got expensive, bro. After I vanished off the scene or I dialed out and you decided to start your own Patreon page, you said it on MJ's podcast. After Sean did this thing and I made fun of him, after a while, that shit got expensive.
Yeah.
And time consuming.
The time is the expensive part. Yeah.
I know you've had this, bro, because you did more snake talk in your earlier days.
Yeah.
I like your show the way it is. I'm not complaining about it at all. I even like your rock and roll in the beginning, but I'm not playing it on my show because I can't play rock and roll. Now, if I could play a fucking guitar, you might see me doing a Kevin McCurley, thinking I'm a rock star at the beginning of this show. Only thing I can do with the guitar is smash it, bro. I can't do shit else with it. Maybe kill myself with one of the strings. That's about all I know. Okay.
Yeah, but that's pretty dark. Okay.
Fuck it. I'm just saying, I'm a terrible musician, bro. I'm not an artist at all. I can't draw 2 stick figures fucking with a stick dick, like I said the other day. I cannot do it. So I give you props for being a talented person who can take that axe off the wall and play it, because I could nothing but chop wood with it. I couldn't do shit with it. So that dig on you was just a dig, just like every other dig you throw out in comedy, just to be a dig. Does it deserve a slap in the face? I don't think so. Ask Chris Rock. I don't think so. I don't think it deserves that. I think at some point you and me should be able to fucking say some funny shit about each other or another motherfucker. And if 3 people laugh, it was worth it.
Listen, I'm going to slap the shit out of you at the next Tinley. So when I see you, I'm just going to walk up to you and slap you right out of that
like a slapping contest. I saw one of those on fucking Facebook on one of those stupid feed things today where these dudes were like fucking slapping like the pores out of it. Like the blackheads were flying out of the dude's face.
Yeah, I saw those. Those are fucking brutal.
Dude. This is the people that
idiots today.
Dude, they're idiots and they're fucking and they're having children and you want to bitch at me.
It's idiocracy. It's the first stage of idiocracy.
It's that beginning of the movie. You're right. Yep. It's scary, the beginning of the movie. And you know what, dude? Slap me. Because you know what? At some point, I fucked up. I fucked
Oh, I
up.
think you're gonna fuck up again before I see you. So fucking that's what I'm gonna slap you for.
Thanks a lot for the faith. Appreciate it.
I'm banking on a future slap. Okay?
Appreciate it. Now it gives me something to prove you wrong about. That's the only thing you can do to me, bro, is give me something to compete against and give me something to prove wrong. And that's the way I can go. Right. And if it's for everyone else's benefit and mine, let's do it.
I want you to prove me wrong, man. I want to see
Do you?
This. Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes I wonder.
No,
but,
I mean, it's fucking,
you know,
the nice thing about you is we're the type of friends where I could just say, dude, you're being a pussy. Stop being a pussy. Fucking, you know.
And I'll still defend my point.
Yeah, right? Absolutely, you will. Absolutely.
You know that.
And I'll be like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You're still a pussy. You know, so fucking, it's, and you could say the same thing to me, obviously. You could
in some cases, sure. Yeah. I could definitely bring up the Patreon thing and the nobody's safe episode.
Yeah. But the Patreon thing, I don't really even think you could bring the Patreon thing up anymore, is because you quit the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Quit ball pythons and then said, I changed my mind. I'm going to go do a podcast about ball pythons again. Which is exactly what I did with Patreon.
People asked for it back. Some people wanted it back. And you know,
how many
I
people
thought
really
about
asked
it.
For it back? Like 11 or 12?
I don't even think that many.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4.
That was
Maybe
good.
3 or 4.
Right.
Okay. I mean, well, fuck it. You know, what did I say earlier? If 3 people got something out of it, it's worth doing.
Yeah. I don't think that's the case. I put too much work in this for 3 fucking people to get something out of it.
Okay, look, dude, I got an email on the Ballshit page 3 days ago from a guy who said that he went through the old episodes again and again and again because he didn't rag on you or anyone particularly. He just said that he was having difficulty finding incredibly honed information in the space given that time period, right? So I think he was getting valuable info from the Ballshit when I wasn't being a prick, right? The parts that were great about it when I wasn't being a fucking asshole, right? And there were great parts about it. You know as well as I do, there were some epic moments of Ballshit when I wasn't being a fucking asshole. And then the asshole side kind of devalued the whole thing, right? So here I am to try to bring value back to it, bro. Like the podcast I did with Ben, I want value on that. I want that to be there forever. I want the podcast with you when you were an aspiring ball python breeder. Now you're the guy that shits on ball pythons and doesn't want to talk about snakes on a snake podcast. I want that motherfucker to be there, right? And I was thinking today about bringing the old audio ones back in this format where I'm listening to them with people live. And then like, maybe I edit it first and cut out a lot of the bullshit. I don't really know. But when I was listening,
what you should do is YouTube Shorts, director's cuts. You know, like basically, you know, do a 5-minute thing of an older interview,
a highlight,
but then you give the director.
That's a great suggestion.
You know, the director's point of view.
Right.
You know?
So. Limey hit it right here, right? Like I think Limey's comment right here is accurate as fuck. You know, I'm with you, Limey. I am. I'm sorry that I use it as a soapbox, but in the essence of scaleless ball pythons, I do think that it actually made a difference. In the essence of the rest of it, it didn't make a difference, but to wreck me. That's it. And wreck my morale, right? Because overall, I didn't just wreck me to you. I wrecked my own self to myself, right? Because like Kristen, the girl that worked for me that worked for Tim Bailey, she came to work one day and she's just like, dude, let me show you something. And she drugged me down an aisle of ball pythons. She's like, do you see all this? Do you know that there are thousands of people that want to be you? And I'm like, I don't want to be me anymore. I don't want to be me anymore. Take it. I don't want to worry about the next 500 rats and where they're going to come from. I don't want to worry about the travel to the next reptile show and booking a room that has a roll-in shower that has the perfect bench on it for me to sit on, or I have to bring my own bench with me. Right? Like, I don't want, like, I was just frustrated, Chris. I needed a fucking break. And after 19 years of running the company straight up, I don't deserve a break. Yeah.
I think, first of all, I have a wheelchair question because that shower thing brought up something. Can your wheelchair get wet?
No, absolutely not. If my front casters get wet, I'm fucked, bro. You got to have special ball bearings on your wheelchair to get wet. Do not get a wheelchair wet.
Okay.
That's it. If you get my front casters wet, dude, like 3 or 4 hours later, every bit of dirt and everything in there and rust sets in, and I am literally a doorstop. It will not roll.
It won't even roll. Okay.
Oh, I ain't even roll. No, the back
Right.
tires will, the big tires will roll, the big wheels will roll, but the front, if the front ball bearings get water in them, dude, it is a fucking mess. Now, you know, taking the front bearings and shit apart, you could do all that if you
Right. Yeah,
really
but
had to
who
do it.
wants to-
I
Now,
can't
can-
stand up in the fucking thing. The standing chair I don't use. I mean, unfortunately, my back, my scoliosis is so bad, I cannot use it. Like when I go up, my body spasms out and I can't use it anymore.
Literally,
Sadly, I had
wouldn't it be easier to just have an employee take you out back and hose you down like in Pulp Fiction? Like
That's
fucking
funny. But no, look, here's the thing, man. I mean, when you go to hotels, like certain chains, they run them all the same, you know, because they buy all the same shit. They
right.
buy
Right.
all, you know, they get the one design and they run the design. Like I was in a Holiday Inn Express a few weeks ago. It was not a, yeah, something like that. Or no, a Holiday Inn Suites. And it was perfect. It was a fairly brand new one, but the bathroom was perfect. The hotel, the Hilton in Daytona, has a perfect bathroom. The hotel in Arlington has a perfect bathroom. The hotel in Chicago, if you get the right room, it has the perfect bathroom. Now, some of these other little shows I go to, like Herps in Texas and stuff like that, that's a lot harder, bro. Like I'll get in spots where I have a reservation. I've gone to a show where I've had a reservation for 6 months in a hotel that they've promised me was suitable, that the night I got there, I had to leave and literally go hotel hopping to find the right one. And that's not fun, bro. That doesn't feel good when you're a Friday night and you're exhausted from setting up and you're driving from hotel to hotel because you physically cannot trust the plastic bench that they gave you that came out of a fucking Dollar General. You know what I mean? That you wouldn't use as a stepping stool, much less put 200 pounds of unbalanced weight on in a wet shower.
Right.
Dude, my injury for this. Look, my injury starts here.
Right.
I was not broken at the waist. I was broken at the chest.
Right.
Therefore, I think Limey's suggestion is probably the most accurate if they could make a better wheelchair. I'm down with that, Limey. I would definitely have a wheelchair wash made for me or make it myself if my wheelchair could hold up to it. But no, dude, honestly, showers are the only thing that saves my life at a show, Chris, because my body's in so much pain, dude. If I'm not at a show where somebody helpful can bring weed to help me out, I'm not flying with weed. I'm not putting fucking weed in my ass. I don't do opiates at all. I'm completely not an opiate person. I've been anti-opiates for 10 years. You know, so like I need pain relief. And to be honest with you, bro, a hot shower for 2 hours is the best fucking feeling in the world.
Right.
I don't know if it helps you with the pains you recently.
Dude, let me tell you something.
I know Ralph Davis went through a lot, and Ralph would probably agree with me that a hot shower is probably the drug that would be the best. And when you go to a hotel and you can sit in that motherfucker for 3 hours, oh shit.
After this last stay, I had to do Puerto Rican showers for a month and a half. And Puerto Rican showers just basically you're at a sink with a washcloth washing your balls and all that. You know,
bed bath from a sink, right?
Yeah, because of the injury in the leg, I couldn't get the stitchings wet. And then man, that first shower was fucking incredible.
Oh man, I showered after 3 months after that stay I had years ago, you know, and that was another thing, dude. I mean, I wanted to podcast from the hospital bed when I was in that hospital, but I was demoralized as fuck, bro. It took me everything just to survive the hospital stay.
Yeah.
You know
I remember when
you
you were posting pictures of the gear that you brought into the hospital.
Yeah.
But then you didn't do the show. Yeah.
Didn't do it. I got it in a box still. I got a box right here outside the room with all the gear in it. Fucking mini mixer board and all that shit. Didn't do the show. Because when I got there, I get it, man. Fuck, man.
You know, well, when I was in for 3 months, man, about that 9th week, I had a breakdown and I was just like, this is.
Dude, I had mine the second weekend for that surgery, and I had to lay flat on my back for 9.5 weeks. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't roll over except for when the doctor came in and checked my fucking surgery. Okay. So at the same time, dude, we have survived something that a lot of people just don't get, and I'm glad they don't get it. Right?
Yeah.
We're both happy for our friends and family and even non-friends, right? There ain't a lot of enemies I'd wish this on. You know what I mean? And if I did, it'd be a real deep wish, bro. I mean, that'd be a real doozy. You know what I mean? Because this is a daily thing for me, bro. And you got to realize I don't just not walk, right? I don't shit. I don't piss. I don't enjoy a sexual life anymore. I mean, there's a lot of shit about this injury that would make most people either like, hey, I congratulated Jerry today for 10 years in because you're alive, bro. You haven't been
Right.
eaten by a kidney infection, or you haven't killed yourself yet.
Right.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. And Chris, I love having this time with you, dude, because honestly, bro, this shit's in the books, man. This shit stays on YouTube as long as
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't delete it.
It's on here
And
forever.
me and you are the most beat up, most hospitalized, most
Yeah.
health wise, run over to fucking coals motherfuckers. And you know what? If we're still here to talk to people and we're still here to move things forward, what's the problem there, dude? Where's the argument?
No, I hear you.
So yeah, we can wrap it up on that, bro. Because honestly, dude, I love you, man. I love watching you,
dude,
even
I
though I
love
don't
you
watch
too.
all
You know
your
that.
shit. I love you and I love watching you. And at the same time, every one of these motherfuckers, like the RN person that I didn't ban that stopped fucking chatting a long time ago and posting that bullshit, bring your fucking bullshit. You don't think I've heard it all? You don't think these motherfuckers have told me the worst of the worst to my face? I've lost my best friend. I've lost women in my life. Dude, I've lost enough in my life to be able to take loss if we can settle an issue. Okay. So at this point, fuck it. Bring it. I'm going to keep bringing bullshit. And if fucking 3 people show up and the little bit of sponsorship I got from these amazing people right here on this road that I uncover in a minute, as long as they believe and you believe, and I got a few friends that believe, bro, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yep.
And now I'm not going to put it off. I'm going to do it every Friday and every Tuesday and maybe every Thursday. And now, because I don't have a ball python collection behind that wall.
Don't do 3. 3 is too much.
3 is too much, but I think 2 would be a really solid thing. So I think that like alternating I think the 3rd would really be a pre-recorded show, right? That I don't intend to do very often.
Yeah.
I intend to do that with the old school guys that just don't want to do the live. There's a couple of them that I don't think I can let them do live just because I don't think that they're, filtered enough.
Or not only that, when you start telling every dickhead that they could come on the show, so you're gonna have just uninteresting people.
Oh yeah, sure. Sure, but with live and being on YouTube, I don't really feel like I need to fill it out. Like back in the day with the podcast, I felt like I needed to fill out an hour.
Yeah.
Now, if like I told John Lehman, Morph Market, John Feely and I do ABCs of ball pythons, bro. Some of these ball pythons are gonna be a 5-minute talk.
I was gonna say it could be 20 minutes, right?
That's it. It can be whatever. You just breeze through it, but in a matter of doing the episode. So just real quick for anybody that's still listening to this thing, Chris has shared his thoughts on it, and I think he's behind it if we can get it done. But John Feely and I are going to take the ball python list on Morph Market and start at the letter A for acid. Josh Jensen will be the first guest, and we're going to go through the alphabetical list A, B, C, D all the way through and try to actually get through the entire list of American Morph Market. And then we'll see what we have on the back end of that,
Yeah,
for
7
more energy
weeks later. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A long, long fucking time later. It's it's zealous. I'm not gonna say it's overzealous. It's zealous. It might be overzealous, but that's all right. Morphpedia, ABC's of Morphpedia, definitely overzealous. Definitely. Unless John wants to throw me a salary, in which case I will learn how to not curse. And I can do that.
Yeah, have fun with that.
So I love you, Chris. Thank you, dude.
Love you too,
Thanks
brother.
for doing
Thank
it.
you for letting me come on your first show, man.
Well, dude, I you know what? You were the only person that was going to be the first guest. If you didn't agree to do this as a first guest, I was honestly fucked on anything. So I'm very sorry about having my sickness and my issues. I've explained already enough. Sorry to you for that. We did it tonight, though, bro. This 2 hours and 7 minutes, I love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking been a great time, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, dude. And I hope to see you in some of your Zoom podcasts, your non-recorded, den of debauchery.
Yeah. We'll run into each other at a show too.
Well, for sure. I got to get slapped, don't I?
Yeah, because I got to slap the shit. Maybe I'll slap the shit out of you at the Herps.
Dude, I wish you would come down to a Louisiana Herp show, eat some good food, have some hospitality, understand that even though I act like a douche, I'm not, thank you guys. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you coming on tonight.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man.
I'll let
Thank
you
you,
dial
everybody,
out.
for staying.
Yes, indeed.
You guys fucking rule, man. Thank you, guys.
All right. Good night, Top Hat.
Bye-bye.
See you around the boobies. Because that's what magnetizes this motherfucker. Go to a show, find the boobies, find this guy.
You'll find me.
That's it. All right, bro. See you.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Bye. All right, everybody. That pretty much rounds this one out. Definitely there are, you say there's no need for apologies. There's some need for some apologies. There's some solid need for that. Now, is there solid need for that again and again and again for the rest of them? No, this is pretty much what you're going to get. This show with that man who I knew would be honest and real with you and me and bring forth the issues that I would have ahead of me. I feel good. I do not want to fill this building up with ball pythons again. I do not want to be a fierce competitor to you at your expos and stuff like that. I do, however, want to elevate you and elevate what you're doing and elevate ball pythons, because honestly, I never, ever thought we would see the shit that we see right now with ball pythons. I never fucking dreamed in my life that that morph market list would come up. And Chris didn't either. There's no way in the world he ever would have known that that shit would have happened. So you know what? Thanks for tuning in for this episode. I have no idea who's on the next one. I haven't even booked it yet. But I got a long list of people, and I got a bunch of people wanting to do it. And as long as I got people saying, me, then you know what? I'm coming back. So, all right, guys, I'm going to dial this out. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to leave you guys off with this video ending that is a cute little clip, but it's not very much. It probably won't even show up right. See ya.